Amen.
All right. Well, we're gonna go to get this show started, man. I see you guys are warmed up a little bit. So now that I got you guys hot and ready, let's go ahead and get this show
Oh,
going. You
oh,
guys, okay. I'm gonna pause it for.
I was gonna let it go. I was really trying to get better with that and just let it.
you act like this is a swinger show or something. You ain't got
Hey.
I thought y'all was trying to do a little Diddy party or something. Now,
I'm going off that.
Hey.
anyhow, as you guys come in, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got an excellent show here for you guys. When Black women stop trusting Black men. So that's going to sum up this video. I got some clips today. I know we ain't done no clips in a while. So I got some clips that is pertaining to the main topic. And I'm going to go ahead and get you guys' opinion, get the conversation started. Sound like a plan? All right, let's go ahead and get this first clip out the way. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
This is a tough one, guys, because Lene, I'm with you on that.
Okay.
As a Black woman, I don't believe wholeheartedly that any man other than a Black man can truly connect with me in the way that you described.
Right.
Yeah.
On the other side of that, I have to also own the fact that there are frustrations that I have with a sect of Black men in this generation when it comes to partnering, when it comes to potentially being a husband or even a viable boyfriend that has now put me in a position where, even though I really don't want to be open to dating men outside my race, I don't want to do it. Let me be very clear.
there.
It's not what I want,
It makes sense.
but it's something that at almost 39 years old, still desiring a family in that life, I may have to be open to.
Yeah.
So I haven't had any experiences necessarily with being in the proximity that you mentioned with white males when it comes to dating. Now, I will say, growing up, my cousin used to always, tease me that I would end up with a white man, and it would make me so mad. It would really upset me. Like, why would you say that? Like, am I not good enough to be with a Black man? But that, outside of that comment, no.
All right, let's go ahead and
That was, man.
go ahead, Trev.
All right. Here's what we have to understand first off. First things first, right? The people, I'm really sick of everyone trying to make the Black man the boogeyman. It's so crazy out here. When you look at it holistically, when you understand the statistics, you understand a Black man acquiesce to more bullshit than any other race as far as relationships are concerned. We're the most willing to deal with a single mother more than any other race, right? And we are, as a race, we are riddled with single mothers, unfortunately. We spend more time with children overall as a race, as far as Black men are concerned, statistically, facts. We are more likely to help with household chores than any other race. All of these things that that the women are asking for. Secondly, the amount of concessions that these women will have to make in order to date outside of their race, because we're not saying they won't get them, but let's be honest, we know what the statistics are, right? More left swipes than anyone else. So it would be a lot easier to obtain a Black man, because the amount of work that you're going to have to do to get into another race, you would actually be more suitable to be with the Black man. If you are more attracted to another race, fine, say that. But don't say that because you just can't make a connection with one. That shit sounds stupid to me, because you're not going to do better because a person is white or just a non-Black or Latino, whatever. You're going to probably do better because you're going to behave differently. They don't even have the same type of behaviors. Black men are guilty of it too. When we get outside of it, we know that Black men honestly will give a white girl like 3-4 more points just because she's white sometimes. We know that. But Black women do the same damn thing. When they are trying to get with another race, they kind of worship that race. I've noticed that people who date outside their race just do that overall. They really have a form of self-hatred is what I see it as. So, and I'm not saying that this isn't like people shouldn't interracially date, but what I'm saying is you don't have to bash the race while doing that. or you don't have to say that black men aren't good enough, or it's unlikely for me to find a connection with the black man. If you want to say, look, I'm gonna try to open up all of my options just so I have the most likelihood of having an outcome, because I have a larger sample size, a larger dating pool to pull from, I can understand that. But to try to say that black men are inefficient, so I'm going to date somewhere else, sounds crazy to me.
Can I comment? I think it's interesting. I think what she said was very fair, right? And I think that she communicated it in a way where so that she doesn't ruffle too many feathers. She said that she ultimately would love and always thought she would be with a black man. However, and yeah, she said that like she can't connect with nobody like she connects with black men, but she's realizing as she gets older and as she learns more and probably experiences more, is that she might need to open up her options. Right now, I think that a lot of times we as men don't really listen, right? Because I was just interested in listening to her perspective, see what she thinks. And it's like it's not like she's saying that every black man is like the same way. Right? I didn't take that personal. She can meet a guy that's, I think that I think that it's a lot of men that she may not have experienced who may be able to, be the type of person that she's looking for. However, what she said was nothing disrespectful. It was nothing that I would take like, like she was trying to take a dig at black men or nothing like that. So, yeah.
You know what I find?
I was just
go ahead.
sorry. Nope, true. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jay, so we can go ahead and get a woman in there to kind of balance it out a little bit.
I feel like I kind of see a little bit of, I agree with a little bit of both of you. However, I do think that when Mont says, she's not bashing. She was making a point that it's like, damn, I can't get success here, so let me be open to other options. But I feel like it's no different than and I'm using Trev just because I know Trev usually, or even, Willie, like women are this way, black women are this way. So this is the reason why, other black men date outside their race. What is the difference? What is the difference where you get tired, conversations like women ain't shit, you get so tired of it. There's no difference. And almost like what she's saying, it's just that she was saying in a way where it's like, you know what? I'm not against it going outside. Go ahead, Trev. I know you. I see your wheels rolling. But I'm just saying, it's no different. I think that when people get tired of the same result in that same circle, then it's like, all right, let me be open, because I think at some point maybe they weren't open to it. Like I've never dated a white guy at all.
Look. So one thing that I tell humans in general, right? If you don't like the results that you're getting, then you must improve, right? It's not about trying to blame it on everybody else. That's the point that I'm getting at. If what she is saying, whether it's direct or indirectly, is that black men are inefficient, because there's plenty of black men who will date her, right? She has enough of a look, at least at surface level, to be able to acquire black men's attention. If she can't retain it, then something's wrong with you. Or if you think that all black men are deficient, then something's wrong with you. That's the problem that I'm having with it. She is going to garner attention. She looks good enough to be able to get that. What she does with it is on her. That's all I'm saying. If you can't find a person, you keep running into the same issue. At some point, you have to look at yourself. It has to be some type of self-reflection. You have to be able to look and say, you know what? It's got to be something I can improve on. And until you do make the adjustments, you're going to go to the other side. You're still going to fail. It's not about a black or white thing. It's about a self-improvement thing and pinpointing what the hell I'm doing wrong. Why am I getting these poor results?
Trev, I think it's interesting because she never really went into detail about her experience and what she was noticing. And I think that's the part of, like, if I was there, I would have asked her a lot of questions. I'd have picked her brain and saw, what are you experiencing that you think that you can't find a black man? And I think that we are projecting what we may think that she is experiencing. So that's, yeah.
Well, that's all we can do is take the clip at face value. I've listened to you mention that before, like when there's more context involved. So what else are we gonna do but take it for face value? We have to make an inference somehow. We can't just what we gonna do. That's what the entire process is here is for us to kind of look at what it is we have access to and then come up with some sort of assessment. And this is just what I have. This is my take. You may not like it, but I understood the assignment. That's what we're supposed to be doing. We're never going to have all the context. So all I can do is give you what I think based on, the large sample size that I have access to, the countless women who I've interviewed, the friends that I have, and everything, all of the problems that I see them have in common, and then tell you what my thesis is. That's all I could really do.
I think the problem is that men don't date men, and then when they hear women say that, they bring their friends and they circle into the conversation and say, "Hey, I know this dude is a good man. This guy is a good man," and then they make it seem like that is the general population of the men that women are dating. It's just not. Women are given their experience and their sisters' experiences, their grandma's experience, and they just expressing to us, to the public, that, hey, this pool is not as good as black men are trying to portray it to be. And it's just, we're going to have to start dealing with that so we could build a different mindset for younger black men, for the new generation. And that's what I believe these conversations is really about. When you hear women say she might have to open up her options, because when she start dating them and the person reveals themselves, he is not worthy of a long lasting relationship besides the
You know what I have a problem with? Not so what you said, Sharon, but since you were the last to speak, she sounds very similar to a lot of the women in the community who believe they know what black men are. And that's my issue with black women collectively, is the fact that they always speak, just like you said, we don't know the women, they don't know the men. The only thing we have in common is the fact that we share similar hues. There is so many different dynamics of being a black person, especially in America. But for whatever reason, black women think because they're black, they know all black men. And then they take on the approach of life based on her own individual outlook, whatever she's achieved, whatever she's accomplished. She's almost 40 years old and have not been able to acquire a black man in the pool of black men who, like Trev said, will probably love to date her or have an opportunity. So I would be interested, like Ma said, to what is her assessment of the pool of black men. And what's personally irritating is that most black women seem to think they got a monopoly on black men, and they don't even know half the time what the heck we want. Generally speaking, if they were so pronounced at knowing black men, they wouldn't be that single. If they were so pronounced in knowing what black men wanted, they wouldn't be walking around trying to figure this out at 40 years old. So if you come from the community, you're the expert, wouldn't you be dominating in the realm of romance? And that's not the case.
So
go ahead.
The thing is that we got to start paying attention to what they're saying and really assess it properly. And we are in a space where we talk about facts over feelings, then we should assess the facts that it is for our women is a bunch of undateable men. And it's been proven that it's like that. Just go by the stats, by how much money we making as a collective in general, not just our own circle of Willie, Trev, and Mont that's making millions of dollars every day. That is our circle. That is not the general circle. It was exaggeration, Willie. My bad. That's not the general population of black men that it got abundance of these these great men that has emotional intelligence, that can communicate, that do not communicate with anger when they are challenged. We got to understand that majority of the time when we having conversations with the general population of black men, they first reaction is anger, and that they feel like they are above any woman that they are talking to. And we need to correct that mind culture that they have as black men. We got to correct that. And once the men that are doing all the right things start correcting it and changing the culture in the way how we think as a collective, and then women will have better opportunities to find these black men that True is talking about.
I'm glad that you're on the panel, Sharon. I'm gonna tell you what I've assessed being a part of this community for so long. It is so interesting and comical to me that just based on exchanging words with black women as a black man, maybe yourself, maybe me, maybe even the men on this panel, they quickly can recognize who's from where or what their assumption is where you're from. And they bracket you based on this interaction, right? Because typically what happens is that when they identify that you're no dummy, when they identify that you actually read, now they're up against their own ego a lot of times, because what they've assessed is that we're dumber and we're slower, that we're inadequate a lot of times. So I don't agree with you that there's not a lot of adequate Black men. I think Black women have an ego problem, and they believe they are the monopoly of the community. Most cases. See, they're the voice of the community, but we're the leaders. And then we have to be the foot soldiers. So the issue to me is the fact that they still think they are the men collectively. Because when you say there's not a lot of adequate ones, what are we talking about? You highlighted income, which they typically do. We're not talking about character. We're not talking about network. We're not talking about these people's ability to arrive in a relationship willing and open. We immediately go to money. And to me, that is one of the biggest distractions in this particular community. Because if we're going to talk about money, we don't collectively do anything together, but we generate trillions of dollars as a collective. It makes no sense. We're contradicting, things. But I'll land. I'll pass it.
That's why it's important, because the network is a part of your character. Most people assess your character by your network. So the same way how you assess your own network, say my network got a bunch of great character dudes. They all read. They all do such a thing. They all make a certain. For some reason, when we are in our own network, our characters are all very similar for some strange reason. So your income and the people that you're around is a part of your character. We cannot separate those two things. It's just not a reality to separate your income and your character and your dating ability, your idea to check to see that a woman might have an ego and you have an ego, but the proper assessment is not to check her ego. You need to meet her ego where it's at and have a conversation with her, because once a woman see that you are at equal footing mentally, all of a sudden that attitude that Black men always saying that women have, that shit goes away. I never in my life actually had a problem with a Black woman's attitude in my life, because I don't think I need to check her for being in the proper state of emotion. She's anger. Like, it's okay for my Black woman to be in anger. It's okay. It's emotion. She could be angered at a situation. I'm not going to be upset and worried about what everybody else is imaging her to be this angry Black woman. Go ahead, baby, scream at me. It's okay. You could talk to me. It's safe to scream at me because I can handle it, whatever's going on. But when it's my turn to do the same thing and I'm fighting against the world, I come home screaming, she's going to give me the same kind of respect. So we got to stop acting like our ego just trumps their ego. They are human beings and we got to respect them as well.
I was going to say,
I'll say one more thing and I'll pass it.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that the rules of engagement, in my honest opinion, Sharon, is where I find, an issue. If we're going to function from the premise that we're about the community, Black men don't meet each other with aggression. Black men don't meet each other with overwhelming ego, in my opinion. But for some odd reason, we've accepted that the women can just do that. To your point, they can scream and they can overtly showcase certain mannerisms. I disagree. I think that if you really want to carry yourself in the essence of being a woman, you understand where you actually lie in the hierarchy of this exchange. There's no reason why, if we're in a community, I should have to deal with your attitude off rip. I didn't earn that. So why, in the rules of engagement from human to human, am I just supposed to override your choice to have an attitude? I disagree with that. Then I laugh.
But that's the problem with the ego, right? It's not earned.
Yeah. Got you. I mean, go ahead. If you want to respond, go ahead, Sharon. Real quickly. Okay. Amanda, go ahead and let's get Jay.
Me personally, I don't even think it matters. I like white, Black, Asian, whatever the case may be. So all this is crazy. Not even going to lie. It doesn't matter. A person's going to be a person. I met white men who've been successful and has an ego. Like the race doesn't matter. It's all the same. But that's me,
Amanda, are you? Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead, man.
No, I was about to say, your background, is it like where are you from? If you don't mind.
Jersey.
Jersey, like, were you raised like predominantly around white people, Black people, mix?
She from Irvington.
You from Irvington?
No, I mean the suburbs, like it's mixed. It's half and half for the most part.
For those Black people Okay, good. I was saying for
No, go
those
ahead.
people who find it if you are truly from a black community and like have a big black family and stuff like that, you really won't really find the same connection in another race, even if you are tolerant, right? So I think it's reasonable to understand somebody like you. It's just a connection that you cannot find with a different race for those people. But you may be a little bit different. Maybe you're used to, yeah, maybe your vibe and your energy is not just super black culture or something like that. Maybe you got mix in there.
No, I'm pro black. I'm just character is character. The
So
outside, but like I said, maybe it is because where I'm from and how I was raised.
pro black is
But
a position, but I'm talking about like what's inside of you. Like, what do you gravitate towards? Like, how do you feel when you are talking to a black man? Like that feeling of comfort. Because this person really identifies with you and y'all come from the same place. Like you might be in China, you see a black person, you like, oh, it's a feeling that you get of home, right? Like, so that's all I'm saying.
Go ahead, Shan and Miss Pearl.
So I disagree. I think white men and black men are very different in how they date. They are not the same at all. And I'm not going to get into that because I don't like that black man versus white man thing. Okay. But I will say that I agree with her. My connection is with a black man. And there's something fulfilling about being with a black man that is not the same about being with a white man. Right. And I don't know what that is. It's just something that's just different. But I will say that what I believe, this is all opinionated. I think that black men are great people, right? But it is difficult to get them to commit to marry, right? You've been over backwards doing flips. Everything they ask you to do, and it's something about that marriage that's just is you have a better chance of of this relationship. When you go in a relationship, that the chances of that leading to marriage is probably going to be slim to none. That's just fact. That's just statistics, right? That's what it shows. And I would also say that, and I know that there are reasons why, rightfully so, but that's just the way it is, and it doesn't matter the race. It can be. Some people say, "Oh, it's black women." No, it happens to all races of women because we know black men date all races of women. And so it's just really hard to get them to commit like other black men. And I think there's something else I wanted to say, but I can't think about it, and I'm not going to hold y'all up trying to think about it. But that's and I think that's where she's going. She's like, I dated these guys, they're not committing, they're not, and you're like, oh, well, you're not doing this. Okay, then you do that, and it's still not, So it's just really hard to get them to say, okay, I'm gonna take the responsibility of you, put a ring on it, let's move forward.
Shannon, you really believe that like black men who are married typically hang around other black men who are married? Like when I used to do wedding cinematography, I would always get booked by other black couples, their friends that they went to school with and all that. Like it would just be like a revolving door of that network of black people who get married. They tend so if you're hanging around these types of people, most likely these are marriage-minded men. Do you think like maybe women aren't hanging around groups of marriage-minded people?
Well, I think that so when you're talking about, and this is what I want to point out too. I know True is talking, and I know I just wanted to point out when you said, well, men aren't aggressive. I think that if we're going to point out the degenerate black women, we're going to point out the degenerate black men. There's a group of them, a lot of them. All right. So that is not a true assessment. Maybe the people that we're used to being around, but let's not act like black men not fussing at each other and taking it to another level, because that is just not the truth. But when it comes to what you were saying, Munt, yes, all my friend circle, everybody's married, right? And you're right, people around, but you always got those friends that just not getting married. They're just not. He's like, you met his girlfriend. She's a wonderful person. You like that, thought that was the one. And nah, she not. He got another one now. So y'all can't act like y'all ain't got that friend in your circle. A couple of those friends in your circle. Let me just say this, and I'm put it out there. If you have 5 daughters, the chances that you can do everything right as the dad and say, look, I need you to do this, this, and this. more than likely, more than half of your daughters are not going to be married if they stick. If it's going the way it is right now, if the suitable guy that you want your daughter to date or marry, the possibility, because I know me and my dad is probably a lot more, has higher standards than I have. For
That's
my
a bar.
dad to choose my mate, I'm telling you, you're probably like, I see what you're.
It's really not hard for you guys to get married. You just need to have standards and boundaries, right? That's the only issue.
Tell us.
Like, no, it's literally like if men had to marry you, they would. It's just it's that simple.
So the problem is the women aren't having their boundaries. It's just that men do not respect their boundaries. They want educated black men, right? They want them to not cheat. The first thing Shan said is that, hey, y'all gotta be able to commit. Men, a lot of black men have a problem with committing. It's just what it is. And we gotta just be honest. The more boundaries that women are having is more difficult for them to find a suitable mate. And we got to just address that situation so men can start understanding what has actually happened. Deal in the reality that they say they want. Stop going with this delusion of something else. This is what's happening. This is what women are communicating. Pay attention to that because you want to be with a woman. Stop paying attention to what men are saying that men are doing because you ain't dating no man.
You can't have pseudo boundaries and standards. You can't wake up and change your overall new approach to dating when we have proof of concept. You didn't keep this standard, sweetie. Most of the time they talking out of their ass, my guy. It's never consistent. If you want a marriage-minded man, find him, but be a marriage-minded woman. That is not the
Trey. Where do most people find their husbands and wives? Where do most people find them at?
School or work?
No.
That's where they find them. That's where they find them.
It's not school and work.
It's usually in school and workplaces,
which is a subset of friend groups. Bro, it's an association.
It's not. No, because the difference is that who's enrolled in college more, men or women?
But this is across all demographics, so that's not a fair point because all those women are still married, and most of them are enrolled. So the point is mute.
So it is a fair point because if black women are looking to marry black men and black men are not in school, then where they going to find them at?
Most women are overly enrolled and represented in college, all demographics, and they have no problem.
Yeah, 60-40 across the board.
They have no problem finding husbands, so that's a poor example. The problem is that women in our community do not want to arrive at being marriage-minded. They want to play the game. They want to move around and do things, and then they want to hit a switch and say, all of a sudden, I want to now be a wife. They're doing the same thing the men are doing, so you're getting the same results. If you want to be a wife, women that want to be married, get married. Women that don't want to be married, play games. So if you're going to be out here, you can't switch it up and chameleonize this thing. They try to hustle black men. That's the issue. And then they want to make it seem like they're talking men like you.
So the women that's in the house, going to school, they focus on their career, they make it to 39, 35, 36, and all these ages like this, and they have no children. They have a great career. Why are those women not married?
Because they're not
married. What about
those? No, you cannot. They're not marriage minded. See, you gain accolades of being an adult, going to school. Cool. That's self-soothing. You staying in the house. Okay, you got to go outside. If you want something, you want to lose weight, you going to do it in the house or you probably going to go to the gym? Are you going to do something that requires action? You can't just read a book and then a man gonna show up at your front door. It don't work that way.
So where are we supposed to meet this man again? This black man?
Where?
Because let me know. Because I was married, done divorced, this whole nine. Tell me where to meet the black man.
Anywhere. Whole Foods. Target.
Where'd you meet your first one?
Hotels.
Oh.
What we need to stop doing, in my opinion, and Sean, respectfully, you give me the sentiment that you're soft on the women. You need to tell these heifers they need to act in a manner that they want. Pause. You can't sit here and just say I'm black and this is all the things I'm doing. They lie, my guy. I am been around couples for years. These women are not emotionally equipped to be wives. Most of them want to get married for the party, but they're not trying to stay married. And that's the trick. It's not getting married. Getting married is easy. Any idiot can do that. You want to stay married.
I just want to say
And I
this.
think that-
It's
and I
easy
think the
for
issue
real quick,
is
it's
that
easy
you-
for people to I just want to say this real quick. It's easy for people to look at the opposite sex and say all the things that they're doing wrong. It's easy. So I agree that women and men are both playing you know, the game. Yes, women are representing themselves properly. Men, even though if a man wants to marry you, he's going to marry you. It's not hard to marry a man. I think it's hard to have certain rules, boundaries, hard to understand if somebody's being an imposter. You start to see things over time. And I don't think it's just like a black and white thing at all. I think it's a demographic thing. It's a mindset. I think it's, you know, you can't go to the bar in the hood and expect to find this high quality man. It just, you're going to get what you know, I'm not saying that there's, you know, obviously we know that somebody may just be hanging out with somebody, but I'm just saying you're not going to be able to get certain things and still be in the same environment. You're not going to find a man or a woman to come into your lap and your nose is in the books and you're just, you know, all about your accolades. What Drew was saying, you're all about your accolades. You know, I don't need no man. I'm independent. I can deal with this. I want my peace and all that. Yeah, that's not marriage material because you're so focused on all the things that you bring to the table. So to say that you're not looking at the qualities that it takes that a man will actually want. So, you know, it's a lot of things. I was trying to like think of all the different things that I wanted to touch on.
And I think the problem that I have is that way too many in these spaces, men are the ones that's being soft on men and not being soft on women. You need to be understanding your woman so you can meet her where she's at because you are trying to date her. So we need to be tougher on men that are, especially the ones that are claiming that they are going to be the leaders. You don't become a great leader from softness. You get it through challenges. You get it through being understanding of what the situation is and going through some things so you can understand how to react in life. So this idea that you got to be tough on women when they're supposed to be the softer vessel, how people communicate, they are the weaker vessel, is just insane to me. If I'm trying to date this woman, I'm going to get her into the position so she could be her naturally soft, weaker vessel, the way how y'all communicate it every single day. I'm going to get her into that position. So therefore I can assess if she can deal with me as a man. I could deal with her as a woman. Get her in a position of softness. Take her out of this society where she has to be tough and hard just like you. Most of the time, the women are the ride or die. They say, hey, whatever you doing, I'm doing. So I'm going to take her out the environment. You don't need to be by my side swinging swords. I'm swinging my own goddamn sword. Take your wise house and make sure I can eat so I can swing this damn sword.
I
So
think that
a couple.
what you're saying again, to me, I think in this space, this one's particularly alike, we try to be even amongst giving the smoke, giving the accountability, male and female alike. My issue for what you're saying again is that it's not challenging the intellect and the spirit of these women that belong in the community. And there is an infancy that belongs in most of the women and sometimes in the men in this community. We have not graduated out the sandbox, most of us, when it comes to how to approach relationships. We play too much a lot of times. But then you want to say you want to be a wife. There is no way that you want to be a wife, sweetie, if you have not developed the discipline and the maturity to approach a lifelong commitment. And it's not all their fault entirely. The men have work to do too. I'm not disagreeing with that, but you keep making it seem like they just arrived perfect because they're women and they're doing everything right. They are not. These women are ass backwards in their ideologies. And when the men who are telling them, this is how you do this, sweetie, they want to challenge it. It is not where you go only. It is not who you hang around with only. It's who you are. And you cannot fake this part. This connection, you can't hustle it. So they're getting the results that they are internally. That's why it's like, I don't even know why this is hard to understand. Grow up.
So the reason why it's difficult to understand because what's your idea of a good woman might be different from mine.
Having a back and forth conversation where 3 other people haven't said anything yet. So there's that part. And then 2, I haven't interrupted anybody. So when I'm talking, just hush. This is the cool thing about this conversation, right? Is that 1, Jay said that, you know, this is no different than a black man saying that black women ain't shit. You know, well, actually it is significantly different. And here's the difference. What she said was, I love black men so much and I'm so connected to them. But That butt part is just like someone saying you're cute for a dark-skinned girl. I love you, but you're cute for a big girl. It's the exact same sentiment, and women hate when we do that to them. So again, it's odd to see that women are willing to accept that in this instance, but they don't accept it when it's somewhat they're the butt of the joke of that joke. Two, the black man and white man date differently. Black men are not putting up with white men are not putting up with shit from black women because they've already seen in mass how you guys are represented on TV. So when you guys get to them, you have to have your shit together because their standards are significantly higher than that of black men. Is what they expect and what they demand from their partners. We've seen that just the divorce rates. We've seen that when we talk to white men who date them. Also, three, it's really difficult for women to say that I do this or I'm not picky when they can't be. That's one of the oddest things that I see in this space is women are like, well, I don't do this, but I, because I just choose to do. No, you don't have a choice. Some women are just overall undesirable, so they get the results that they get because they're undesirable. These women who are talking about they can't find good men, it's because they're not good women. It's the hill I'm willing to die on is that if a woman has a hard time finding a man that's willing to commit to her, she's not worth committing to. And then so what she does then is she goes from nigga to nigga to nigga to dick to dick to dick to friend group to friend group to friend group, trying to date men in there to find somebody who she's good enough for, instead of doing the change or what it takes to be good for that person. Black women approach dating like they're applying for a job, but then are going to tell the people interviewing them what they need to ask her. They're going to say, hey, I'll answer these questions. These are the skills that you can expect me to have. And if you don't like it, then I'm not for you. So there's no issue. It's not hard. Like your life is going to be an amalgamation of what you deserve. So if you don't have something in your life you deserve, you don't earn it. You don't deserve it. It's simple. If you were a good woman and you wanted a man, you'd have one. If you wanted to be in shape, you'd be in shape. If you wanted to be smart, you'd be in school. You literally just don't get shit for free. And with unfortunately, Sharon, the shit like the rhetoric that you have is going to make a lot of women, placate to it because it sounds good. Like your medicine, I mean, your words are all sugar and no medicine. You're telling women they don't have to be accountable for what they do. That men should take them as they are. And then at the same time, men are also supposed to seek women when we're the ones that control access to marriage. If we were talking about everything you said, Sharon, would be spot on if we were talking about men trying to get pussy. If we were just solely talking about men trying to fuck women, everything you said would make sense. Everything you said would make sense. And then two, I really don't. I hate when people make the argument about, well, like, for you personally, you shouldn't be talking about black women because you're not married to one. I don't think that's a fair argument. But what I will say is fair is that you shouldn't tell black men who are only dating black women what we should be expecting from them either.
So I think the problem is that men need to understand that they got to be the ones that change their outcomes. They keep focusing on the wrong person in this equation. We as a collective, we got to change the mental shift on how we communicate with the people outside. So if it's good to say that these black women can't find a good black man, that there's something wrong with them, it got to be the same on the other side as well. That all these black men that's out here complaining, say they cannot find no dateable black woman, it is something wrong with those men. And since I'm a man that came from the bottom, -0, -5 I'm from Brownsville, New York, where I ain't supposed to have no family. I ain't supposed to make it past 18. I was outside and doing a whole bunch of nonsense. And I could change. I know the difference between that person and who I am now is because I had that mentality shift. I changed my mindset. And therefore, once I changed that, my outcomes changed. Whether it was dating, whether it was career-wise, whether it was me starting a business, all these things change with a mind shift. And we can't keep ignoring the fact that men need to change the way how they communicate, the way how they think, if they want better outcomes in relationships. That's just one of the outcomes that they're going to have to concede to, and understand that everybody is not lying on us.
If black men wanted better outcomes, and they would stop being so fiercely low to black women and seeing them as our primary source of connection, as you have, that's why they'd be successful. Because when black men date outside their race, they do tend to get a higher category of women, especially for the desirable men. But what I can concede to you is this. There is a lot wrong with men who are complaining in general about not being able to find a good woman. But what that thing is, seems to be common amongst all of those men, is that they don't have the traits, nor the status, or any of the other things that the women look for. So to True's point, where he said a lot of women are out here saying what they want, all that is an aspiration. They're not basing what they want and what they're attracted to based off what they deserve, the work they've put in, the research they've done to find, say, hey, sir, you're the kind of guy I would like to marry. What do you expect from your wife? They don't ask those questions because they think that all they have it is already within them. And the reason why they think that is because of other women telling them that, and men who have the commentary you do. So we're not saying be hard on women, but what we are saying is to hold everybody accountable equally. And I don't see that in your conversation, because there's a lot of things that men are doing that are exceptionally better than black women. For example, black men in general, we don't automatically assume that a woman is going to get is going to be the master. We like to tell ourselves we're going to be different because our ego is attached to it. So we'll say, hey, you know what? She may have been like that with him, but she'll be like that with me. Oftentimes, these average men are finding out that woman is the exact same way. There's not very much different from one man to the next. So, and for those men, those are the same ones that you probably hear talking about. There ain't no good women left because, again, they keep going and striking out with women. So it's not fair, or it's not even, it wouldn't even be a fruitful conversation to have, nor a prescription to say that, well, we need to go and start asking women what they want when they don't control anything other than what goes in between their legs.
Right. And so, and I think that's where we having a disconnect. So it's not that, yeah. Ooh, got
so tight. Let's go ahead and get Miss Pearl and Bo in there. Go ahead, Miss Pearl.
Hey, y'all, how y'all doing?
My bad.
Okay.
My bad. Sorry.
Thought I was flying on the invisible jet for a minute. Can you see me? I thought I was flying on the invisible jet. No, for real. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me center myself. So, in listening to the video, she was 39 years old, right? I don't have any problem saying my age and my stage. I'm 41. Like, we're like 2 years off. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm part of the new generation. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. That's like the 20s and the early 30s for me. The point that I'm making is she said she had frustrations with the current generation. Why do you have a frustration with the current generation? You're 39. What was your experiences, like Mont was saying, with the previous gentleman that you all were with? Like Willie always said, like, it doesn't matter how many men she was with. It was the common denominator. That's her. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like that subconscious, oh, well, my cousin told me when I was a kid I was going to end up with a white man. So now it's that, I guess I'm going to do it now. But you only want the white men now. She didn't say Hispanic men. She didn't say Asian men. It was just white men. So again, I'm just trying to pinpoint and hit what she was saying, but what she wasn't saying.
Hold on, Miss Pearl, did she say white men or did she say just outside of her race? Like,
talking about.
I mean, she was saying that she loves black men. She was leaning towards dating outside her race, but she was saying like her cousin was saying like she was eventually going to end up with the white man. Again, that's like subconscious for me because she kind of pointed that out. She didn't say specifically anybody else. Maybe that was just me. The point that I'm making is what you all were saying. She didn't hold herself accountable for those failed relationships. It's not like she's just going to go and get with these white, Asian, Hispanic, whatever the man is, and magically she's going to have this relationship that she couldn't have with the black men previously before. I don't think the issue was the black men. I think it's her. I think the current generation is just seeing a lot of our failures, and maybe they're just not interested in dealing with that. Again, maybe I said before, we don't say enough of the truth. You want to keep glamorizing and sensationalizing when the truth is, like I said before, a lot of us just have these relationships. We have sex. You get with the guy. You don't have necessary vetting conversations. You don't ask through the gate if he even wants to be married. You just expect and assume because you either look a certain type of way or he's with you, you have sex with him, you have the kids, y'all been together 5, 10, 15 years, that he's eventually just going to marry you. Yet you see it's not going where it's supposed to be going. You can hear in the conversations that he's saying, this is what I want to do in the future. There's a lot of signs that we miss, and there are a lot of men too that do that same thing. And this is that codependency that I talk about. A lot of us are just so quick to latch on to something and somebody. You just need to be by yourself for a while, develop who you are, understand what you want, find your purpose. We're so busy trying to find partners. You're not even supposed to be finding a partner. Find who you are first, and maybe you will attract that person naturally. Maybe that's your problem. And then, like I said, you get with people and it's not going the right way, and don't now one of y'all want to leave because one or the other is benefiting too much. It's just too much of the unnecessary. Let me see if I can go back to something else because I'm finna land. Y'all don't be talking that much. But Mont made a really good point when he asked if the young ladies or young ladies who want to be married are centering themselves around married-minded people. They're not. They just want the married people to tell them the great things about the marriage, but not all the troubles, not all of the issues, not all of the stability wise things. It's like I said before, you just want the benefits. Like True was saying, you want the wedding, you want the dress, you want the ring, but it's like, sticking around. Like I say, it's always that he might cheat. We throwing it on the table, right? You might cheat. He might be broke. He might be sick. He might be paralyzed. This could be on both sides. It's like we don't want to deal with those. We just want to deal with the highlights. What are we talking about? Marriage is for better or for worse. I'm just saying. That's why people are running away from it, because they don't have the stamina. It's just that simple. Everybody wants to keep hopping in these new relationships because it's that honeymoon phase. And that's what True was saying. Once the real you was supposed to come out, hell yeah, you gonna run. Because ain't nothing there. But you can always perform for the next person. So now they done created a circus full of clowns and performers. That's why the dating pool is full of shit. But if you real and you solid, that doesn't change. You're gonna attract and you're gonna stick with what you want. So again, a lot of people are in these relationships because they don't know how to get out of them, because they don't want to get out of them. Because where they gonna go? You see what I'm saying?
Miss Pearl said a couple seasons ago. She said, if your dating pool is shit, why are you staying in it? And nobody ever takes that into consideration. If you swear your dating pool is so bad, do something better. Do something to get into a better pool. And unfortunately, the only people who seem to do that mass are men, because we know what to do. Go get money, get some muscles, or get tattoos, have a nice car, be emotionally safe, and shit like that. Women, you can tell them all day, we don't give a fuck about you going to school. We don't give a fuck about your accolades. We don't give a shit about your career goals. What are you soft? Are you nurturing? Are you going to be safe for me? Are you coaching? Are you able to be are you able to follow? Are you respectful? Are you governed by your logic, or are you governed by emotions? The things that we care about, women intentionally disregard because they don't have them. The women who don't disregard them are the ones those things come with. And those women are not single. They're married and put the fuck up.
Go ahead, Sharon. You said that.
Really, I think that's the. I just had something real quick.
Go ahead.
I was only going to say that's the inherent problem, right? She is literally trying to get into another pool without the credentials. That's what I think people are doing. That would be like men saying, you know what? I don't like these women that I'm getting. I'm gonna just start dating, baddies straight up. I want IG models, or I want supermodels, or I want virtuous women, but we're not hitting the gym. We're not getting our money right. We're not traveling. We're not reading. We're not improving. And you can't just jump into a new dating pool. You have to earn your way into a new dating pool. That's all.
Wait, what does that mean?
The qualifications for going to the dating pool is not just having a vagina. There are certain dating pools you have to be in that require you have a certain set of things in your character. For example, married women hang out with other married women. Whores tend to hang out with whores. And Sharon made a great point. He said, that, hey, who you hang out with says a lot about your character. Well, unfortunately, a lot of these women, again, a wise man once said, the good girls are standing too close to the hoes. So in that group, now, why would I think if it's Shan, Pearl, Bo, and Jamie in a group, right? And girl number 5 is a known hoe. Why would I not think that Shan, Pearl, Bo, and Jamie are hoes too? So women think that all it takes for them to deserve what they want is having a vagina and wanting it. Those are the only 2 criteria they have. The majority of women are not willing to do the work to actually qualify for the men they want. And we know that to be true because the majority of these unkempt, unruly women in these spaces, they won't even shut the fuck up. And that's probably the easiest thing for a woman to do in order to attract the man is to show that she knows how to indeed close her mouth. That's the hardest part. They always have to have something to say. They always want to have a rebuttal. And then 2, and you look in these spaces, again, bro, when have you ever seen any of these single women in these spaces with these talking points that y'all would want to marry? That you see, you know what, man? She strikes me as a good wife. She strikes me as someone that I could see raising my kids. She strikes me as someone that I could see being a good support system for a man. And every time I ask y'all can't name one woman.
Yeah, real quick, Sharon, Trev, if you could just try to articulate to me how she's not qualified to expand her horizons and be open to other races of men. Oh, you muted, Trev.
No, not even her specifically, because I don't want to harp on homegirl, because I don't know her situation in all honesty. But I think that this is an inherent problem of women in general, whereas they're not willing to earn their way into a new dating pool, right? Women kind of think that their vajayjay is such a strong currency that it could match any income, match any virtue, match anything, right? And they, and most times they think their presence is a present, and that's not good enough. That's not good enough. They think that their sheer existence. And I watch people. I'm like, I saw a female influencer the other day that's supposed to be teaching women. Usually has good points, and really came out her face and said that her sheer existence is going to help the man. If a man built himself, what the hell does he need you for at that point? You can't build a built man. There's nothing that you can add to it that's going to make it any better. You know what I'm saying? So I think that our main issue is that when, again, we know this, the topic is women tonight, right? So we're talking about them. That's why I'm going specifically on them. We know that there are men who also need to build. I talk to men on a regular basis like, yo, you don't like your shit that you get into? Get your weight up, bro. This is how you do it. This is what you're going to do to improve. This is how you're going to have access to better. And you know what? When I tell that to men, they say, you're right. You know what? How am I going to do that? Right. And probably when you talk to men, it's usually the same thing. And we can improve our results by building ourselves because we're willing to do it. But women do the opposite. They support each other with the fuckery. They figure out how to go ahead and tell their homegirls that, no, he's wrong. Yeah, you get somebody else. Oh, we about to go out tonight. And it's not going to work. Revolving cycle.
I don't I'm me personally, I'm trying to stick with the lady in the video. She doesn't, to me, I haven't seen anything yet to be like, yo, she tripping, she out of her depth. Like, you know, I haven't seen that yet. She's decent looking. She's decent looking enough. So outside of that, I wouldn't, you know, say that she's not qualified to be in a dating pool. Because I'm personally I'm just talking about her.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that. That I think that remember, I agree with that in the beginning. I said that she looks good enough. That's a fact. That I said she looks good enough to be able to get it. So if she is still not finding a man and she looks good enough, then apparently something is inherently wrong with homegirl. Right?
She didn't say
unless you want to concede to the fact that men are shit. If you want to say men are shit, then say that. Right? But it has to be one or the other. Either men are shit or she don't know what the fuck she doing. One or the other is true. So which one would you say you agree with?
To Sharon's point.
No, hold on. Let him answer that real quick. Mar, answer that. Which one is it? Does she not know what the fuck she doing, or men are shit? Which one is your point?
I think it's very possible that men and women who have issues dating, it's not the dating pool. It's very possible that it's them a lot of times, right? I believe that. However, in a specific situation, I just don't think that we can. I don't think it's reasonable to say that yet. That's all.
What? That was double talk. You just said what?
Yeah. But here, I can tell you why she disqualified this, because you can't get out of this one. Sharon said again that who your environment says a lot about you. Look at the show she's on. She's on a show with a known pander, and she's on a show with a woman who also, again, has those same talking points about black men. So, again, birds of I can't get a nigga feather flock together. And then they got, the beige round of mound. He's in there pandering, trying to agree with everybody because he's the host that wants to fuck his guests. So you can't take shit he's saying serious, no way.
Well, that's not fair. The show thing.
I think the issue is that a lot of my brothers, we're not just dealing in reality. Women going to talk a lot. That's just a natural thing. I think if you are going to do all these things to get a woman and expect her to just be quiet in the house is just ridiculous. Especially if you're dealing with an intelligent woman. Y'all going to have communications. You're probably going to talk more than anything. I think another issue is what Ms. Pearl is saying. When women do what Ms. Pearl is saying, when they have the standards and they focus on themselves, when they can't find a other significant other, they tend to go into the 39 upper ages, get their career, get their money, get their own house in these situations. They wind up being single because they hold a standard. Also, I think people, I've been married for 15 years. And so I think people actually grow better together than trying to do it separate. If you do it separate, you try to be 100% the best human being you're going to be 39, 40 and single because you just focus on yourself way too much. I don't think there's anything wrong with meeting somebody and leading them into your ideology, whether you're a man or a woman. So for me, I had an idea where I wanted to go and I was working towards that thing. So therefore I built trust with my marriage by hitting the things that I say I wanted to be accomplished. A lot of times what we see is another thing what Ms. Pearl was saying, that people are just shacking up until they just in a long distance relationship. They just with each other. They hang out long enough till they start having sex, and then they have sex long enough till they have a child, and then they have a child, then they got to get an apartment. So they just let the relationship just be willy-nilly. But you got to have intentions on what do you want in your life. And so if men start focusing on what they actually want their situation to be, they will go ahead and have an idea what that woman looks like, and they'll be able to find her easier. It's a plethora of women out there for men that have intentions on moving in a certain direction. And if you are a man that's just willy-nilly and you just say, we just vibing, then you're going to find vibing women. And then you're going to be just shacking up until you have a kid. And then eventually, since y'all just vibing, that vibe is going to change, because once you have responsibility in a relationship, it's much more difficult to have love in a relationship when you got responsibilities. That's the real difference that happens in relationship. Love is easy when you don't got no bills and responsibility for the other person. It's easy for you to love somebody because you can just get in and get out. But once life start actually happening and y'all gotta navigate this world together, that's when the true testament of a relationship happens.
All right, let me take a pause for the super chats really quickly. Just my 4 cents, $2 tired of the men they single-handedly raised. Just so my 4 cents again, $2. Sharon, you married to a white woman, I'm confused. Just so my 4 cents, $2. Marry before you carry, problem solved. 4 cents again, $2. Here we go with the every black woman is educated nonsense. Brother Noomsy, $4.99. Why are we making it seem like it's more likely to see an alien from outer space than to find a marriageable black man? Just for my 4 cents again, $5. There's only about 5% difference in degree attainment between black women and black men. But let YouTube panels tell it, every black woman has a PhD. 4 cents again, $5. There's only about 5% degree. Did I read this already? Yeah. No. YouTube panels to tell everyone kids are homeless. 4 cents, $2. Change your mindset and woman type. Marcus Evans, $5. Hello to some of the good people on the panel. All facts, Brother Willie, no last told. And the simps in this space defend them. I want to thank everybody who has contributed to the platform. Let's go ahead and keep this show rolling. I got another clip from that same episode.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so I want to move on to the other side of the debate, because sometimes when I see this conversation or this discourse happening on the internet, you get, but it's okay when a black woman does it, when she dates outside her race. And you were just speaking to that a little bit.
Yes.
I've been on these dating apps myself. It's hard out here for us.
That's why I got off.
And there is a prevalence of white men on them apps.
Yes.
And it's not really my thing, but it also just makes it difficult for me to have more options for my dating pool. But for you guys, like, what do you think is the difference between when it's happening amongst black women versus when it's happening amongst black men?
We don't have a lot to choose from. And then we talk about preference, right? So if I'm a black woman who desires to date a man who has a certain faith that he practices that's in line with mine, that makes a certain amount of money,
now you'll go there.
that has maybe a certain limit with how many children he already has.
Now you're asking for too much.
That may have never been married before, and I'm older.
Yeah.
So we down under the floor by the time we actually vet through every and this is not, again, I'm not talking about women that are super stringent and have all these high, like over the top standards.
No,
just basic things, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's not high over the top. The bar just being held.
That's what I'm saying. So we're doing this off just basic fundamental things that we would like. A man who's into his career. Some of them still trying to figure it out. No shade, but again, if you're established, if you're high achieving, and that will go for a man. Like depending, if you may have a standard where, hey, I want to date a woman who has a passion, it's something she's really passionate about, and she's career driven. She can still be a great mom, but she has something for herself. You wouldn't date a woman that necessarily doesn't have anything going for herself.
That's real.
So when the statistics already show, it's not a lot of y'all around, not a lot of good solid guys around, not a lot of guys that care about themselves enough to go to a therapist or to read a book or to go to the gym or to eat a salad. Again, we're under the couch. And so that's part of it. It's a numbers game. You all have more choices. It just is what it is.
I think now we got something to work with. Now. It's not that we have more choices.
I think she just barred everything down just now, Ma. She barred them.
Yeah. I think it's not that we have more choices, it's that we require less. Right? So when she's talking about like a man who's never been married before, and it's like, yo, you're 40. Why do you care about something like that? Like if I was 23, it's like, yo, I want to be your first wife. I want to be your first husband, you my first wife, right? Like she just kept adding a ton of things, which is fine if that's her preference. But she, at that point, it's like, understand that if you want all of these things, it may be hard for you to find somebody, right? As a man, I know me personally, right? Like I don't require that much. I just want you to love me. I want you to, like very simple things, like work with me, stuff like that. But if you have all of these things that are, she didn't even talk about character and stuff yet, right? She's talking about all of these exterior things that she wants, right? So at that point, it's like wherever you end up may be based on you. Well, regardless, it should be based on you anyway, but yeah.
So, Ma, she did talk about character. She said having faith, the same faith level as me or higher. That is a part of your character. Your faith is a part of your character.
That's not character.
We already discussed that your net worth, how much money you making, is a part of your character. So those are things that is a part of your character, whether people want to admit it or not. Know that if you go out, if I'm taking this girl out and she know that I'm going to take care of things, that's a part of my character. That's part of my chivalry. All those things is part of your character. People want to try to act like money is not a part of your character, but it is. It is the way it absolutely.
You can have money and have a shitty ass character. I don't. How is that character?
Okay. But still, you people that have shitty character, they use money in a shitty way. So your money is a part of your character. No matter how we try to slice it, the way how you use your money is going to be a part of your character. If you're a shitty person and you wind up getting a lot of money, you still going to be a shitty person with money.
Sharon,
you're still going to have a certain kind of character, and we understand this is why we have a misunderstanding of money in the first place. Most people that never experience high earners, they believe that people that have high earners, they are negative. They think that they are going to do something negative with money. They're going to have a bad attitude. But in reality, once you start getting to that upper echelon of money, it's the opposite.
How do you know?
They don't have this bad character issue. They usually are more understanding what's going on around them because they have less stress and they focus on other things. They focus on health. They focus on communication. They focus on articulation. So when people keep trying to use money as it's a bad character flaw, until you get up into different echelons, you realize money is not a bad character flaw at all. It's a tool that you use, and it's a part of your character because guess what? If you go to a millionaire's house, you're not looking at him like, oh, trust me, it's a part of your character.
No,
and it's not a negative thing. In most of the
hold on, gotta get Bo in there.
Bo is next.
Bo, please, let's hear.
I am losing my fucking mind over here, hearing that money is a part of your character. Nigga, do you understand that people spend their money, they donate to charities, they do all of these great things, and then they'll turn around and fuck people over personally. You can do great things with your money and still be a shitty person with zero integrity because it's a lot of people with a lot of money that got that shit underhandedly, illegally. They do a lot of fuck shit with that to get that money. Money means nothing. Doing shit with your money means nothing because the carrot stick sitting in the Oval Office right now, donated to a lot of charities. You know why that is? Tax breaks, tax write-offs. It means fuck all when you do shit with your money that's good. It is how you treat the people that are around you. It is how you view life. It is how you react to things. It is how you curate your whole life. That is character. See, that is why women have a problem with picking quality men, because y'all men think that y'all money means something. I don't give a fuck about your money if you yourself are a piece of shit. I don't care what you do with your money. If you yourself are a piece of shit, your money means nothing. Remove money from a man and you'll see exactly who the fuck he is. Give him money. You'll see exactly who he is, because you'll see what the fuck he does. You'll see how he actually thinks when he has that money. You see what type of man and outlook he has on life when he has nothing. And you see how he'll treat people when he has money. So the money being absent and present tells you a lot about that man. But that money, what he do with it don't mean a fuck thing. I was melting on the inside. I mean, it was lava on the inside of my chest when I heard that shit. No disrespect, but that's bullshit.
Go ahead, Shan, then Willie.
So I'm sorry, but I have to agree with Sharon. I think that some of the nicest people have money that I've come in contact with. And I would say that I think it's how you get your money, right? Who you are. I think like if you like that hood, I don't like to say that, but if you like fans money, you know, you got that life, then maybe that guy is gonna treat you bad. But I have met some wealthy men who have been very kind, like some of the kindest people, just not my, you know, type, as in when I get to know them, do we mesh together, right? But I think that people do give people with money a bad name, and it's not like that at all. It's not. As a matter of fact, let me finish talking. I have had poor experiences with men who don't have money. As a matter of fact, most women don't even have access to men who have that much money, and yet they have all these things to say about men, right? So I agree with both. Maybe the character, I wouldn't agree with the character thing. Like I wouldn't judge him based off strictly money, his character, because you're right. There are a lot of people who in business, in romantic relationship is very different from business, right? They may step on toes. There's a lot of risk taking. It's a lot of cutthroat to get that money. Absolutely. But we're talking about the romantic aspect. That I don't know how he got his money, but when we're talking about in a romantic way, how he treats me as a partner, as a person he's interested in, I find that they're very kind. They're very loving. They're very attentive. I even had one stalking me. A little crazy.
That's not good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying he wasn't one of us. But what I'm saying is, don't judge it off of the money. I wish people would stop saying. I hate when people say that, like people, because you have money, you're bad. That is not at all true. At all.
Shan, you do know that she didn't just say that. She said that money doesn't mean anything, and Sharon said that money is a part of your character. So she never said that men with money are bad, men without money are good. So would you agree that money is a part of your character? Is the amount of money?
I think that you have a certain character to obtain that to get that money. Like maybe it's, you know, you're very ambitious, you're very like straight to it. Like it comes with a character rate, like a quality or it's a certain man who can get that, right? So maybe when we think about like, oh, is he, you know, I don't know.
Okay, so money. What does money tell you about a man? At least tell me the bare minimum that money tells you. If I said I had a blind date, he makes over $1 million a year. What did that tell you right there?
Well, no, it doesn't tell me. It just tells me he's a hustler. It doesn't tell me much about his character though, because I don't know.
You're very handsome. You're very handsome. Oh, you're attractive. Yeah. So fine.
It doesn't tell me he's attractive, because that's what I find. Most of them are not attractive, which is the reason why I sometimes do. But that's another story.
So it doesn't tell you. Just said it doesn't tell you much, but he's a hustler.
Right.
Oh,
so I can tell you what.
If he's very giving, right? If he's a giver, he's very, you know, generous to people. philanthropist, I can say I'll build off of that. Then maybe his care, he's it can has a lot to do with character. But I can't just say a blanket statement saying based off money. And I agree with both. But I think I probably got it mixed up because it's kind of like, you know what I'm saying. But what he was saying, there are some things you can gather from a guy who has money, basically, and he got it himself. Not that it was trickled down to him, but he actually hustled to get it. Like I know Willie talks about his business all the time. I in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he's a hustler. He gonna, the way he talk, he snaps at it. Is somebody who, I believe that. So I think that there are certain things I can't explain it.
So this is the thing.
Some of the things that character shows is determination, ambition, to see a plan through.
Yes, Dr. Willie. So I promise you, this won't take too long. So 3 things we got to push back on. Y'all, fellas, I don't know how y'all keep letting this shit slide. Well, I get you because that's just saying you have different way. That's fine. But one, saying you know a lot of rich men that were kind. Of course they're kind because they want to fuck you. If you were ugly, that would matter. If you were unattractive, that would matter. You don't know very many men who aren't going to be kind to you because they want to add to the miles of dick you've taken in your life. So that's not necessarily a thing we can brag about. Like, oh, well, men with money do this because of no. Those men were kind. They were kind because they wanted to fuck you and had money. So that's what they probably.
So is that different from a man who doesn't have money?
He still wants to fuck you too. He's just kind without money.
Right, okay.
So that's the problem. Like, you have to be very unattractive for the way that a man treats you that's not fucking you to matter. Because again, he wants to actually, like, we're objective based. So these niggas aren't being kind for a reason. For no reason. And there is a big difference about where we put our money when we do donate it, because we don't have to donate to charities. We can go buy art. We can also go lose money, hide money. There's a bunch of other ways we can do it. So there is something to be said for guys who do donate to charities, especially ones that start their own foundations and then, run the money through there and then still do good with it. So there is something to be said for that. And then lastly, if money is part of a man's character, then Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, who else? Who was another billionaire that you're saying y'all are going to...
Elon Musk.
Nah, I don't want to say his name because I don't want my shit to start breaking. Michael Jordan, all of those guys are the most high character individuals in the country because how much money they have. Because at the end of the day, if money is part of your character, it can't weigh the same as being honest, being intelligent. It has to weigh more because you have so much more of it. To say that men who have money or like getting to upper echelons, this is the part that I hope that y'all understand. Y'all are only speaking from conjecture. It's speculation at best. Because what a man tells Shan about how he got his money and what he did has to be tempered by the fact that he wants some head. The thing that a woman tells Sharon about how she got her money has to be tempered by she needs a stepdaddy or she just wants some dick, whatever it's saying she's seeing him. And y'all have to start considering that part because y'all take shit at face value when it benefits you. Like, oh yeah, I've had a rich man stalking me. If a rich man really wanted to stalk you, he would have got your ass. You wouldn't be on this show. Because he has money and he can make some inconvenient things happen to you. You to be duct taped.
When I say stalk, he wasn't trying to kill me. He was just.
That's not what I mean. Either. I'm not talking about killing you either. He'd have had your ass chained up to a ceiling, spinning from a ceiling fan naked. That's what I'm talking about. So, like saying that these motherfuckers that have money aren't doing anything or it doesn't matter, it's not a part of their character, and money absolutely matters. To make the type of money that you women respect, and I'm saying you women in general respect, is not easy. And if it was, everybody would do it. Everybody would be making $250,000 a month. Everybody would say we have all this money and there would be no poor people. But unfortunately, it's niggas that need to work at Walmart. It's niggas that need to drop off my DoorDash deliveries. And those are the men that y'all don't pay attention to. Like, those are the men that you don't acknowledge. And I know you're finna say, what's a mechanic that I know? Well, guess what? You know why you know him? Because he did something for you. But guess what the common denominator is between all the rich niggas and average niggas? They still want to fuck. So they're going to do what it takes to fuck. A rich nigga can pay for it. An average nigga got to listen to you about your life story, pretend like he likes your hair, pretend like he gives a fuck about your childhood until you come up off that ass. A rich nigga doesn't have to do that. He can wine and dine you, and then at some point you're gonna be like, you know what? My dress belongs on the floor.
Now I can agree real fast. I'm sorry, I know it's Sharon's time. I do apologize. I can agree with that. I think I just wanted to debunk the fact that we have this thing where we go after rich people like they're just these bad people, but then the other guy is not. Like, no, I think that should, like Bo, I think that Bo was trying to articulate, it probably should just not matter. Let's just take that out of the equation, because both can be,
I think the problem is that we gotta just understand is a ambition level with when it comes to the money part of the characters. Ambition is determination, is making a plan. Most people that are very wealthy, you gotta have a plan. You gotta see that plan through. You gotta be able to deal with things and change your plans as you see fit. Is a lot of characteristics that comes with it. It doesn't negate that honesty and integrity. Those are different characters that you gotta add, that doesn't have anything to do with the character of money. So a lot of the things that we cannot conflate those two things. They're just separate, because it can be a dishonest man that make a lot of money because he has a lot of determination and ambition. So we cannot just mix it all up as one gumbo. So to have the honesty and integrity and loyalty and all these things, those things are separate from the money. And this is why, and we know character and money comes along with it, because we hear men say it all the time. What did she expect when she was dealing with such and such of a status person? Because you attach that character to that man. And it's okay for us to just be honest about it.
I think that we more so attach the proximity that man is in and that friend group, like you said, to that character, not the money.
You know what I find interesting, because you guys laid down some solid stuff as far as the money and stuff. So that content. But what I find interesting is that we don't account for the women who you can't waste their time. So back to one of the points that Sharon was trying to make and paint as a premise, that these women actually want to arrive at being picked. I've encountered so many women that when they don't play about themselves, you can't date them for 7 years. You can't be in a relationship for a decade. That's not commonplace. So a lot of what I see is that they're just talking. If you truly want to be picked, you don't waste the very valuable asset of your time, if that is truly who you are. But if 4 years goes by and 8 years go by and you're saying, well, I'm just trying to wait till he gets this together, I got to call cap. You are who you are no matter where you're at. So if you really are at that level of being able to attract what you say and claim you deserve, I'm sorry, this young lady that we're doing a reaction to wouldn't have made it to almost 40 and had no solid suitors. I just don't believe that. It doesn't even correlate. It's like you made it to 40. I'm sure you've had a job. You've made it to 40. I'm sure you had a couple of cars. You telling me you made it to 40 and couldn't get nobody of adequacy? Something's not adequate.
But that's the so even if when I looked at stats, and please somebody can Google it real fast, even when I looked at stats in 2005, because I wanted to do research on when did the decline happen, like how far back in my, as far as I can remember, did the decline happen. Even then, the marriage rates were extremely low. So even before the internet took place, people were in relationships, but the marriage rates were still low. And I've seen people it's people out there in relationships now. It's very rare that I go somewhere and I'm not seeing people holding hands. These are not turning into marriages. There is just, I don't know, Kumbaya, I don't know what to do. You can go to a festival in no rings, but they're holding hands, no rings, So it's just so confusing on, I don't.
Well, now that I know that if I hold my woman's hand, we got to be married, even though.
No, we're basing it off of. We're basing it off of.
No, I'm giving you a hard time. So, Sharon, I want to ask you a question. Just because I want to I want to test your logic for a second. Like, so do you feel that a guy should be 40 years old starting a rap career?
Starting.
Yeah, like they never talk about he at work, he working his 9 to 5, he driving his, he's making his $100,000 a year driving for UPS, and he just, man, fuck this. I got bars. I want to go home and be a rapper. Do you think that's a prudent decision for him to make at 40 years old?
That's a complicated question for me. I believe if he turned it into a hobby and he is rapping about him being a UPS driver and he's trying to make a career off of that. What I'm saying is he's trying to make a rap career over his life of being UPS driver and all those intricate bars that he had for that, then I think that's okay. But if he actually trying to be a gangster rapper and have an image of what that's an issue.
Okay, so let me ask it a different way. Do you think the odds of him being successful as a rapper starting at 40 is higher than lower than him failing at being a rapper at 40?
Man, I don't know if I can answer that, to be honest.
No, just pick. Give me your opinion. Just if you can say yes, higher or lower. Like, do you see a lot of 40-year-old rappers right now that are successful, or people starting rappers that are 40 years old?
That's so. I believe if the person is true to themselves and they actually have the musical talent, they could be successful. Because we have Jelly Roll. He started getting popular as he turned 40. So
right, different thing, different genre. A 40-year-old can definitely start singing. No argument there. So, do you think that a 45-year-old man or a 39-year-old man should decide, you know what, I want to go back to college and play college football at 39 years old? Do you think that he has a chance of making it to the NFL at 39?
Man, that is crazy. You can play football if you go back to college at 39. So no, because
cut it out.
Yeah, he's not. He's trying to support
listen,
that argument.
man,
Most women are not starving.
Ain't no fucking way, boy.
I'll tell you like this. I know. See, like, so I know athletes, right? And I know a couple of athletes that made it to professional after the age of 39. They didn't become no superstar or anything like that, but they got $1 million checks. So it's if you actually put your body. So the problem that I have with it, right? If you are actually putting your mentality and your body through the progression of being successful at whatever that is, I believe that person can do it. So if you start at 40 years old and you have a mentality and you got a history behind it, you could turn into something successful, whatever it is that you're doing.
Not a problem.
I'm talking about the majority.
Wait.
Sharon don't even know what type of box you're trying to put him in, but he's refusing to go into it.
It don't matter, bro. It's fine. So let me ask you this question now. Do you think that a man has a higher chance of going to NFL or being, or doing anything physical like that, NBA or whatever, when he's in his physical prime?
Yes.
Okay.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So you said that marriage-minded women go through their life and start trying to get married at 39. So that's how we know you don't believe that, because logically that doesn't make sense. A marriage-minded woman would not wait until she's used and washed up in the market in which that she is trying to now go have herself purchased to go actually and try to pursue that thing. A woman can't say that, well, I went and did my career first, then I had my whole phase during my marriage, and now that I've done through all that, I want to be a wife. But you just said the exact same, but you just told us that you don't believe that men will be successful doing something in their prime. Why would you prescribe that women go do the same thing? Wait until they're out of their prime.
You misrepresent what I'm saying.
I quoted exactly what you said, actually. Exactly what you said.
I'll clarify for you. So a 39-year-old woman that have a history of doing certain things. She is not just dating to be dating. She's dating with intention. She's having a career with intention. She's making money with intention. All those things shows that a woman is very focused. That is a woman that is possibly marriage-minded because she is very focused. So if she could focus on her career, she could focus on the way how she handle herself in the street. She could also focus on a relationship as well. I don't think that because she had some kind of, I guess, a whole phase that now all of a sudden that she could have a new outlook in life that means that she cannot be a wife all of a sudden. So if
no argument there,
and if that is the case, then it got to be on both sides for that situation.
No argument there. But what I want you to understand that you're admitting is that, one, what you prioritize is what you're minded. That woman wasn't marriage minded until she wanted to be married, and now what she also thinks is that because she's done these other things, like we just explained to you, her career, all those things, she thinks those are what make her qualify for the men she wants. And now she's 45, still trying to find the dude. But that's cool, right?
So
let me ask you this.
Let me ask you this part.
So that woman who went and did all of those things, right? And I'm saying we take the whole phase out of it. A woman being a lot of times, a woman can be intentional about being married, but can you say that if a woman is not finding out what the man she's with requires from his wife, and then trying to be those things, that she's intentional about being a wife?
Ask the question one more time.
Can you say that a woman who says she wants to be married is being intentional about getting married if she's not finding out what it takes to marry the man that she's with? what he values in a woman, what he wants his wife to be, what his expectations are.
If she's not focusing on the person that she's with, and yes, then I agree with you 100%. She gotta be able to be a wife to the man that she is with, for sure.
So do you see how now that your logic, and mind you, everything as you're saying, there's a age group for it. It's not the women on this panel. The stuff that you're talking about is for women in their prime. And it's not, again, it's not a dig at anybody, but it's a fact. What you're talking about right now is not for your peers. It's not for your contemporaries. It's for the people that come after you. So if you were having this conversation with a panel full of young women in their prime, it would land, and I don't think much pushback would be had. However, you're telling old women to date like young women, and that is their number one problem.
That is insane to me. So no, that's crazy. So we saying that older women that is career driven and they focus on non-relationship things.
Yes,
that those women when they hit 30. When they hit 36, market, right? They are not marriageable anymore.
No. Whoa. What I'm saying is not saying that they're not marriageable. They're not as marriageable as the women that these men want and that they're competing with. A 40-year-old woman who's been in her career for 20 years is not going to be as wifely, as marriage material to a man who values all the things that men value compared to that 25, 26, 27, 28-year-old woman who has less life experience, has been through less relationships and failed, has less trauma, less baggage, and then more importantly, is still open to being taught and coached. So that's who these 40-year-old women are competing with. For example, let's say that I know that you're a millionaire, right? You're the guy that
the issue that I'm having is that the issue that I'm having with you saying, Willie, is that you saying that those men that is at this upper echelon, they are too immature for their age.
No, it's not that they're immature.
They gotta date somebody with less experience and all these things that they gonna have to mold them into something where they could be with somebody that's at their level of thinking, at their level of career mentality, knows how to move in a room, know how to hold themselves down. They cannot deal with a mature woman that has boundaries. They want to deal with somebody that they're gonna have to build their boundaries, is what I'm hearing.
That's how you interpret it, because I'm saying what type of mind you have, and you are very feminine minded when it comes to this, and that's fine. But what we're telling you is that there's nothing immature about a man who wants a woman who has not been through shit. Because again, if that was the case, and just to prove it, these women on these panels that we're reviewing would all have husbands. If that was the case, the problem is not that men are immature; it's that women hate it when we use the car analogy, but it's the most appropriate one. We do not want a car that looks a 2026 model because it's fine, she's thick, she's done these things. However, that 2026 has 50,000 miles on it already. And that's what it's like dating some of these attractive older women for these men. And then two, if I ask you this, then this is a logic question. You got to pick one and don't try to pontificate or do any of that, swaying, riding the fence shit. There's two women. They have the exact same credentials, professional, they're exact same. One is 40. I'm talking about same titty size, same ass size, same all of this. They both want kids, and they want all the same things, and they have all the same characteristics that you look for in a wife. One is 40 and one is 30. Which one are you picking?
I'm 45, so I would choose the 40-year-old.
Why?
Because we have more relatable things in common.
We'll
be listening to the same music. We be into the same clothing. We be into the same ideology. We be into the same history. A lot of our things that is just natural to us when we just in the house and I'm listening to an old school song. Me and her gonna start dancing to that song. I ain't gonna be dancing to no goddamn Sexy Red with no damn 30-year-old in my house cleaning on Sunday. And it just ain't happening for me, bro.
Cool.
So me and that 40-year-old with the same exact attributes is for me mentally, I'd rather be with that woman.
Right.
I could communicate with her at a higher level.
I wholeheartedly expect you to pick the 40. I wholeheartedly expect you to pick the 40-year-old. But then let me ask you this: y'all want to have children? You want to actually go see the world? You want to actually have someone that that you can impress yourself upon, correct? Why would you pick the 40-year-old woman when having a child at 40 is a geriatric pregnancy? It's dangerous, and then more importantly, you're 45. So what you want to consider the fact that the average life expectancy is 72. If you're having a child at 45, you probably want to have a younger woman there, because then that child is more likely to have a parent while they're older, because you're likely to die when that baby is 22. And this is why I ask you this. As soon as I asked you the first question, we knew what you were about to say. The second time I asked you, I softened the stance on a little bit just to give you a little more leeway. And right now, this is the thing. The difference between you and the other men like who are 45 with money, you're not looking to lead. You're looking to get along with. You're looking to cohabitate with. You're looking to survive with. The majority of men are in the women's position that women want. They are leaders. They are looking to provide. They are looking to coach. They are looking to actually impress themselves upon their women. And mind you, there is nothing wrong with that. But you, sir, are the minority in that upper echelon of men. And I'm giving you I'm assuming you make $250 a year, you're 6'6", all the things the women like. I'm giving you that. But in that group that you're in of desirable men, you are the oddity. The rest of us, we don't want these women with collected these kilometers of dick, been on 45 trips, been flown out by 30 different niggas. We do not want those women because we want women that we can do those things with, that we can share those experiences with. And you are just looking to get along and having stuff in common, and that's where we defer.
So I think you adding the ran through part is kind of ridiculous to me. Well, I mean, that ran through part was not a part of the conversation. Now you adding that in to make me seem and push a certain narrative about me and saying that I'm the feminine one. But in reality, what it shows is that my train of thought leads you somewhere. It shows because I'm a leader. I have an actual train of thought and logic. I'm not just willy-nilly and just going through anything what other men say. I don't give a damn about what some other men say. My headline should let you know I don't give a damn about what no other man say about the woman I'm going to choose. So that's insane for somebody that has been leading his relationship, been married for 15 years, know my wife for almost 2 decades, been with that one woman and led my wife into not being in the workforce. You saying that I'm not a leader. That is a wild statement to actually hear, because in reality, it is absolutely wrong.
Sharon, you're not a leader of black women. You're not married to a black woman, that was my point. We're talking about black women tonight. So you're not leading a black woman in a marriage.
So just because even if I was in a marriage with a black woman, doesn't mean that I'm a leader of black women. I'm a leader to my woman.
This is why
whatever race that woman is, I'll be a leader to her. I'm not attempting to be a leader of black women.
But
my conversation tonight has not even been talking towards black women.
That's my point.
My conversation today was talking about.
That's my point.
Conversation tonight.
That's my point. It's all speculation and conjecture coming from you. Because again, you're talking to the wrong group of people. If you were like a professor in college and teaching a women's studies class, those younger women, message received spot on. But you are literally telling people, and we're talking about black women, what black men need to do to lead black women. For you to not be leading one, it means that everything you say is just speculation and conjecture. There is no prescription that you can give. There is no recommendation you can give, because again, when you said that you changed your mindset to get a better outcome, your better outcome was a non-black woman. So when we said earlier that black men would do better if they weren't so fiercely loyal to black women and primarily dated them, you are the example.
No, so again, you building a narrative that's just not true. I'm from a place where race is not held at a high prestige like in some of these southern places. So where I'm at, I didn't choose my woman because she was a different hue.
Oh, I won't make that. I'm not making that assumption.
Yeah, but that's an assumption that you attempted to make, because I still have black women in my family. I still have black sisters.
But you're not dating
I still have, so my daughter's still going to be considered black, even though most people in this new version of society, they say, no, she's mixed. Fine, cool. We could go with that narrative as well, even though we know it's bullshit. So again, I do have a stake into what black men are moving as in their mindset. And so the problem is that men like you, y'all want to paint narratives to make it seem like something is going on. But in reality, I was talking to men this whole time. I didn't mention women and saying what women should or should not do. What I'm saying is that men should understand what women are communicating, process that truthful information, and start holding a standard for themselves, because the women are holding some kind of standard. Clearly. And so, what you displayed, that men's standard is get in a car, go to the gym, and want some vagina. And that's the only thing a woman can offer is vagina, and that's not true. Women offer more. The least thing you are going to do with whoever you marry is have sex with her. You're going to do everything else 10 times more than that.
Agreed.
So this idea that you basing women on their vagina is just ridiculous, and you're not paying attention to what I'm saying. You're just trying to paint a false narrative for some reason, but it ain't working with me, my brother.
No, there's not a false narrative.
Shame on you, shame on you, Willie. Let's get going there real quickly. Shame on you, Willie.
Shame on me for what?
For painting that narrative.
I didn't. What lie did I tell? Is not being funny, but what did I say that was wrong? He's not married to a black woman. He's not leading black women, and he hasn't been for 20 years. Which one of those things is not true?
We're gonna come back and visit that. Go ahead, Bo.
I just wanted to make sure. If I'm wrong, I'll pay for being wrong. No problem.
I'm always uncomfortable when people speak about middle-aged women the way they do. It's like we get punished for like not dying. Like how do you judge me for like being alive past 30? Like I'm supposed to like be washed up because I didn't die? And like to make fun of women, like the loser in the comment talking about some 40-year-olds equals hot flashes and mood swings and whatever else. Excuse my language. So bitch ass nigga, because here's the thing. It's just a part of life. Like y'all go through the things y'all go through when y'all get old too. Like and so we have this unhealthy outlook on aging. There are a lot of women who are over 40, who are well-adjusted, who are still teachable, who are still leadable. Like we actually, because like being here taught me a lot about, conducting myself in a relationship. A lot of things that I was learning from women who I didn't clock like are constantly single. And so talking to me in here has helped me understand a lot better. It's a lot I still do not agree with, but it's a lot that I truly understand now a lot better. Which equals literally that I am still teachable. And there are women my age who are still teachable, who can be impressed upon because we know we don't know everything. You need to meet a woman who is one, happy in her life as she is. Not that she still doesn't want better. Not that she still doesn't have goals, but someone who is content with what she has and goal setting, goal driven. You also need a woman who knows that she doesn't know everything, because that is a valuable woman as well. And those do come in 40-year-olds. It's not that we don't have no pushback. I'm a grown ass woman. Of course, I have my own opinions about things. But also I'm willing to listen and understand your side as well. There are those 40-something-year-old women that exist. And so I'm not saying that Willie's saying this, but like a lot of men punish us for literally not dying. My bad for not dying at 30. I'm so sorry I chose to get old.
Bro, to be fair, no one is punishing you for not dying. What you get punished for, what we remark on, is the fact that you age, that you're older, and you still think that you have the same requirements and you demand the same value that you did when you were in your prime. Older women, when they get older, they don't take that in consideration that men do like younger women, unless it's a problem they want to, try to bash another content creator over. So that's why we have that conversation. It's not, we understand that you're older, and then mind you, that I never say all women anything or all of anything, but what the majority of 40-year-old women are not is fucking coachable. Like that's a hill I'll die on. The majority of women are not respectable. The majority of 40-year-old women are not going to be led by a man because, as you just admitted, you're going to have pushback sometimes because you're a grown woman to have your opinion. The majority of 40-year-old women also are probably not going to wait until the appropriate time when you're at home by yourself when you're saying out in front of company to actually push back and give those opinions. That's what I'm saying. I'm never going to say that all 40-year-old women are bad, all 40-year-old women are washed. But again, Bo, look at these panels, right? Look at these panels, and again, how many of these older women, 40 plus, do you see that are out here like outwardly desirable? Not talking about physically, because niggas have some weird taste. But as far as their character, how many of them do you see that men see are like literally desirable, that are trying to do anything other than fuck? Because Sharon's point, he said, I thought that all women was good for sex. No, that's not all women are good for. But that is one of the primary things that men want from a woman. That if it's not number one, it's number two. There's a multitude of other things that women can do for the ideal man they have. But unfortunately, there's a multitude of other women who can do that thing based off the math longer, and then based off of those men's experiences better than an older woman can. Like there's a great saying, the wall is undefeated. Was three things undefeated: father time and gravity, and then the wall. Well, I guess four because fucking IRS. So there's four things that are undefeated. And you can't be 40 and then not realize that one, you were going to be competing with 30-year-old women. So the 30-year-old version of Bo, if she goes and finds a man that she loves dearly and says, hey, what would it take for me to be the best wife I can be for you? And he says, this, and this. And you go do those things, you be married. But women aren't doing that. They're going to find men that they like, getting the attention from them, usually sexually, because that's how you could get a dude's attention that, has bread already. And then telling him, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do this, you can't ask me for that, just because you have money, I don't care. And he said, okay, cool, I'm just going to keep fucking you. I'm never going to commit to you. I'm never going to marry you. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of that, she's 40 years old and still wondering why she can't get the same guy that she was getting when she was 30. Because when you're 40, y'all get set on your highest setting. So if you fuck a rich nigga one time, that's your default now. That's what you feel like you can deserve, what you feel like you can attract, what you feel like you can keep. And it's just not true. Because if it was, y'all would be married to rich niggas.
I think the issue is not the punishment, Bo, that you state. I think the issue, honestly, is the fact that if you're aged, how you got to your age unwed, not in a relationship that you respect is the issue. So we all get older lifespan, like Willie said, 72 plus, whatever, right? That's not the issue. There are certain things I think it's fair to expect from adults, grown people. There's language that should be coming out your mouth at certain stages. So if I think they just did something along the lines with, what's that girl name? Vivica, the other day. This lady, 60-something years old, still talking like she's 28 years old. There is something terribly wrong with the idea that you got that far in life, and it ain't from lack of options. So I think that for whatever reason, we have not accepted that there is timelines. Forget the birth, forget the geriatric pregnancy. Why would you want to be 40-something years old, 50-something years old as a woman and not have something solid? Something did not transpire correctly. That to me is what I've kind of been standing on. There's a mentality that's not there. There's something that's missing. Being a woman, in my opinion, is the easiest thing to be if you're trying to attract men. Like, you are literally able to attract men. It don't even require no talent. So if you got 4 decades plus and you haven't been able to acquire one of these solid men, it's not just the market. I'm just not believing that. It doesn't even make any sense. Then I'll land.
That's crazy to me.
We'll probably get to Sharon.
Look, I'm trying to find an avenue to take. I think if I had anything to say, my only issue is I think we use too many social constructs to try to define each other's value. I ain't gonna pump and thump and stomp the Bible, but we all God's children. I know that people do things, and in other people's eyes, it lowers their value. That's you. That's how you feel. I I do honestly feel like people have to hold themselves accountable. But I think we do too much of, like I say, that materialistic acquisition, hierarchical type of. You're not gonna be with everybody on the planet. You're not. It's too many of us. I think people just need to start minding their business. I know we be wanting to be the censors of the voice and the reason, but that only goes so far. Like, you're not gonna be able to depict, convince, convert, condemn every situation to everybody. My point is, if you out there and you listening and you value yourself, I said it before, relationships are not difficult. We make them difficult with the unrealistic expectations and listening to outside influence. You shouldn't even be listening to those people to begin with. You should be centered with yourself and your family. But again, that goes a whole nother direction. If I had anything to say before I land, please just love yourself. Like, we try to give you all information. And I think if you take the bits and pieces of everybody and what it resonates with and not hold on so deeply and so tightly, because a lot of the times you'll find yourself miserable at the end of certain conversations, or you just find yourself lost. Jesus Christ. I'm really stuck on that value thing. I don't know. And like I said, I'm 41. Like, I don't feel like my value is less. Like, I don't feel like I'm competing with anybody, anything. I know y'all gonna beat me up, say that's unrealistic. It is what it is. And I can't necessarily shut up, Tria. Shut up, Tria. Shut But again, I do understand that. Like, I'm only one woman, and a man is gonna have his options. Like, that's what's up. Do you? Like, I can concede to that. It is what it is. But I am a good woman regardless. I swear to God, at this point, I'm just looking. Let me see. Let me look at my notes really quick.
Bro, I don't buy that value shit to that degree either, though. Like, if niggas, a 45-year-old man is not, well, I don't know. The internet niggas say that they looking for 25-year-olds. I think 45-year-old men are looking for 40-year-old women. Like, I don't buy that stuff either.
I agree with you. I agree with what Sharon was saying as well, with the 40 versus 30 thing. That's why I was saying it was subjective. And I think the reason why I was kind of saying I'm not in competition, because it honestly depends on what the man wants. Like, I've met guys who have vasectomies. They don't want kids. They can't have any more kids. So for fertility, I'm not competing with women who are fertile, because he doesn't want those women. He does not want. It's just that because those women will be like, I want kids. I have vasectomies. Like, I'm not even looking for that 30-year-old. He would want someone that's older, that's more established. So again, it just depends on the man. I'm not saying that that's every man, but I'm literally not looking at society and saying, because I'm now a 41-year-old woman, I don't have any value, or because I'm not as fertile as I used to be. Like, come on, y'all. Like, stop playing. What we saying here? But again, if you trying to tell me my value is associated with the man that I'm with, like, what if he ain't shit? I'm just trying to, come on now. Like, Pearl. I get where y'all going with it. Who is that calling my name?
Me.
Look, what I do, True. What I do, True.
No, because you brought Sharon into it, and I'll say this real quick. You are in competition. You and all women alike. And whatever freaking reason, I don't know why it's so hard for the women of the species to understand life as competition. The problem with trying to understand a man's perspective on it, I vehemently disagree with Sharon. It's not age, it's influence. A 40-year-old woman has been influenced by other people, other men. Her ideology, I'm sorry, in my opinion, we are territorial with what we oversee. By the time you get to me, you're programmed. That's the issue. So the idea that you're a 40-something-year-old man talking about we need to have things in common is blasphemous to me. We don't have anything in common. I'm man, you woman. We live completely different lives. What I need to know is what goes on between your ears. What can we ultimately align on that is positive and progressive? And I'm sorry, it is very difficult to deal with people who have been influenced by a myriad of men who may have had erroneous thinking, may have had wrong programming. And you're walking around in the earth thinking the way you think because you've been influenced improperly. And the high likeliness of that happening is heavy the older you are. So if you're uncomfortable, if you're telling me that you're a kind of man that can take a woman that's been influenced incorrectly by a multitude of men, you got it. But I would say that you don't really love yourself and respect yourself properly.
Yo, true. I'm being honest. I think I can get a 40-year-old woman on my time right now. Like, I'm 33.
Look, so Sharon, you go right. I'll go right after.
So I always find it interesting when I hear men say that, and they always say I'm the one that is the feminine one and all this type, which is insane to me. But the fact that I know for a fact, if I had to be in the dating market, I could date a woman my age and she'd be rocking with me and going where I need her to go and say, hey, babe, this is my plan. This is what I want for us. And she'd be like, you know what? That makes sense to me. And she'll be rocking along with me. She'll be right by my side doing exactly what my plan is. And then also the idea, this is the same man that said he's not even willing to date a woman that don't have children. This is the same man that's going with this rhetoric. He won't even date a woman that don't have children. So this idea that that men that have an understanding of where they are trying to go and where their next level of life is supposed to be, do not want somebody that is equal footing mentality wise is just insane to me. If I want to go and be traveling the way how I'm on another continent, I would not be able to do that so easily with a goddamn 20 or 30-year-old. I need somebody that is on the same mental that understands that what we are doing, it gotta make sense. We ain't just traveling the world just because we're on vacation and just taking pictures and saying, look, I'm over here, the weather's nice over here, haha, you in 20-degree weather. That's not what I want to do. I want to travel, not vacation. And so I need to be with somebody that mentally understands that we are traveling and not vacationing. And it's tremendous value in somebody that has the same mental fortitude as you, that you could communicate with. Because trust me when I tell you, when you communicate with your woman on an equal playing field, the sex is much better than me trying to keep up with the new sexy red track or whatever it is.
Cool part, right? He's right. I said that I wouldn't date a woman who didn't have children, but typically what happens when people quote people to make a point, they intentionally leave the context out. I don't date women who don't have children because I'm not having any more. That's the reason. So I didn't say that I only date women who are 40 and up that don't have children. I said that I don't date women who don't have children. So that could be 20, 30, or 40. So again, see how the context matters when we have these conversations? Because the crazy
right, and so it doesn't change, but it doesn't change what I'm saying. But the thing is that like those women was led by somebody else, and you don't feel like those women are not leadable.
That's probably why you should have just waited. So that way everybody can hear exactly what you have to say.
You had a little break in your
I didn't. There was no break at all. And I'm good about not putting breaks in. People, you're passionate, no, nothing wrong with that. But this is the thing, right? What you said, Mont said that he bets he could get a 43-year-old on his type of time. Speculation. It's speculative. We look at Mont and we say, yeah, Mont young. We say Mont handsome, tall dude, got bread. He might can do it. It's realistic, right? But then in the same way that you said that you would want that 40-year-old, and because you can still talk to her, a 30-year-old woman can be taught how to be spoken about. The 30-year-old can be coached because she's been influenced less. Like as a coach, right? I like the kids that come to me that have never been trained before because they have no bad habits. So when I'm teaching them how to swing, I don't have to teach them how to, I don't have to teach them door knockers or why that's bad. I don't have to teach them how to choke up on the bat. I don't have to teach them how to low with their front, rock with the back, and then swing because that is a bad habit. So the more training you have, which training is an influence in this example, so y'all can keep up, the fewer influences you have, the better to get the desired outcome. And the desired outcome for a man is fidelity. We look at all of these signs that say if a woman's been with more than 4 dudes, it's hard to pair bond. If a woman's been with more than 8 guys, the likelihood of her being married for more than 10 years drops like 80%. There's all these studies and everything that have been done by people much smarter than all of us, people more experienced in these spaces than all of us are, and we still find a way to say, well, no, that's not right. It's not that it's not right, it's that you don't agree with it. Because everybody has an opinion. The difference is when I'm having these conversations, the majority of these things are factual. I'm not going to debate your opinion. Like, I've never told you that your opinion is wrong. But when you present things as fact, like you say, well, no, that is a fact. It's not. It's just because you don't agree with what the data shows. The data will show that Mont won't actually be able to get a 43-year-old woman this time. He can get some pussy out of her, though. He can get her to cook, clean, do those things. But long term, she's still competing with women that are more desirable and younger, or even less, whatever she has at 43 than she is. Women have this idea that, well, I'm not competing unless I'm actually in a race. We all start at the same time and we're running next to each other and there's a distance we have to go. That's what women think competing means. What actually competing is the man that you want is going to have access to a lot of women. And you can be 30. There may be a 35-year-old who's better than you that will be more desirable for him. However, it's likely that they're going to be younger women with, again, less baggage, us all the negative things. And maybe he would take, the fact that Shannon said, you don't have anything in common with a 30-year-old. I would sacrifice having something in common with a 30-year-old that wasn't damaged or, through a 20-year-old life than I would a 40-year-old woman that I may have went to high school with. Because again, at the end of the day, if my goal is to stay married long term, like one of the dopest things, Shannon, he's married. So at least he's married. So if my goal is to be like him and be married, because you've been married for 20 years, right? For a while. Like, I've been married for a minute. Like, with one woman, my goal should be is to make sure that I find a woman who is better equipped to do that. And unfortunately, statistically speaking, older women are not that.
You know what's interesting about statistics?
You gonna cut me off, cuz.
You
Yeah. I ain't gonna be long though. I actually got one for y'all ladies. So, believe it or not, more than half of the average men in their 40s will date women with less than 2 years of an age disparity. So, if you are in your 40s, you can find a man that is actually going to date you, right? So that's a fact. However,
so Willie Fast was false.
Wait, I'm not done. No, I'm not done. Let me go. So, but what I will say is that when you,
hey, my bad for fucking your name up, Sharon. My bad.
when you incorporate wealth into the picture, it drastically changes. So, men that can actually do what it is that they want to do, right? They will not accept the same standard. It becomes drastically different. You're talking about like 75% of wealthy men will date girls significantly younger than them. So that's the problem. And you could simply solve this problem a couple of ways, right? One, you could actually date men that are within your realm that are easily obtainable, right? Or you could try to level up to the point where you can obtain these men. And I think that's the problem, is that women are refusing to accept where they stand in the marketplace. Men understand, if I was 5'5" instead of 6'4", then I would understand that I'm going to get less looks, I'm going to get less attention, I'm going to get less smiles, I'm going to get less people to say hi to me or nice shirt or whatever the hell that happens to me on a regular basis. They're going to look at me differently. And we know that. The dudes that are short, the short kings know they're not going to grab the attention. Dudes get bigger cars because they know they're going to get more attention. Dudes hit the gym hard because they know they're going to get more attention. Almost everything that dudes do is behind obtaining women, but women somehow feel like their existence alone is able to obtain men. It doesn't really work like that. And I know we don't want to accept the fact that, and we're not trying to say that you're less of a person, but men in the sexual marketplace are going to see you as less valuable, unfortunately. So for those factors that Dr. Willie done beat you in the head with for days and days, it is what it is. And we're all different. I wouldn't want to date somebody who is significantly younger than me. That's just me. But not everybody thinks so. And when dudes get a lot of money on them, the dudes who most of these women are chasing, and you got to understand this, the biggest problem that we have is that I would say every single woman on the panel's standards have raised. I don't think anybody's standards have gotten worse. And you think that you're doing better by that. And okay, I get it. If you say, look, I learned my lesson from this and I'm never going to deal with this anymore. I'm not going to have a dude who does the nonsense that these other guys did to me. I'm not going to have somebody who's abusive, which makes sense. I'm not going to have a guy that doesn't have his money together, which makes sense. But when you start adding other things on there, oh, now I need a dude who could cook. Oh, yeah, I need a dude who could sling schlong. Okay, cool. Once you start adding these things on and your standards become higher, and then your value is going here, you're not going to run into anybody who's compatible. You're decreasing your odds dramatically. You're your own worst enemy in that case. Men
Yeah.
have a pretty good grasp on this. We know what we can get and we know what we can't, and we try to stay in our lane. But women somehow can't really do that. And you don't have to accept anyone, but you can't think that you deserve one just because either.
Yeah, I guess I can make a couple of different points. I agree that I'm not ignoring the fact that a lot of women are insufferable, right? I'm not ignoring that at all, and but I think a lot of men are insufferable and they think that they're not, right? I think a lot of and maybe it's my experience coming on these panels and stuff like that. I mean, so many men who are just emotional. They just gotta raise their voice. They can't it's like they don't understand other forms of communication besides yelling and these type of things, right? So a lot of men have blind spots and things where they don't understand that you are deficient in certain areas that might be very important to a relationship and they don't even know, right? But the thing about statistics, at least for me, right, I've noticed when certain things are applicable and when they aren't. Like, so for example, I hear a lot of people who have been in the clothing business say, stay away from a retail business, stay away from selling clothes and all that type of stuff, right? For me personally, I think it's the easiest thing in the world, and I think it's one of the best ways that somebody can make good money from your house, right? So easy, like clockwork, like so simple. But other people will tell you don't do it under no circumstance because it's just a bad thing to do. So I just think you got to know when you you just can't always go off statistics. But I understand that sometimes it makes sense for the general population if we're just looking at it in that perspective. But you got to know when when to apply certain things.
Go ahead, Pearl and Bo.
Let me just hit a few of these real quick, and then I'm gonna land. I heard everything y'all said. I just feel like at this point, because of materialism, like we've just transformed ourselves into a big marketplace negotiation. I feel like it's a lot of insatiable appetites, unrealistic expectations have developed. People are spending a lifetime purchasing identities because of society. We got induced insufficiency, actors inside of inherited theaters. What other notes did I have? We are performing, and that could be masculinity, femininity, intelligence, obedience, perfection, and vulnerability. Let me see, just a couple more, then I'm laying. I feel like a lot of us are inadequate in a lot of ways, and that's what's breeding the comparison, the competition, the performance, the consumption, and the suppression, because you don't have to focus on yourself. We are beautifully trained prisoners. Let me see. If anything, I just feel like we need to just stop searching for relationships and just find your purpose and allow God to bring you a Boaz. I'm just saying, like, maybe that's why so many of us. I do think it's a double standard. Y'all gonna beat me up again with like single mothers and single dads, but I only feel that way because when you're a man and you provide, it's like an overlay for the underplay. You can hide or run from accountability because you're providing that woman and it's now a burden of some sort. But I ain't gonna take it and go too far. I'm hearing everything y'all said. I'm just analyzing and synthesizing the best way I can. I'm gonna land there and give it to somebody else because I got a lot of shit on this paper.
All right, go ahead, Bo.
Is it?
It is wildly offensive, and I don't think that men even care. But it is wildly offensive to be referred to like I am a packaged product on the shelf. Like, I get how men think, but men referring to women as like marketplace things and having marketplace value, it reminds me of this white supremacist bullshit talking point, you act like women are up on the auction block and y'all are buying us. It is wildly offensive. Now y'all do what you want to do. Feel how you want to feel, talk how you want to talk. But I'm just letting you know so that you understand from a woman's standpoint, it is wildly offensive feeling like a product being bought. And that has been said tonight. To be bought, to be purchased. Those words were actually used. And you sound like white men buying slaves on the auction block. And y'all really need to stop that. No, you don't. You do what you want to do. But I don't want, I never, ever will date a man who will refer to me as a product ready to be bought. Y'all need to know that is wildly offensive. Like I get it, but that's wildly offensive to women. We are human. That is why we feel like y'all don't really like us or respect us as humans because of how you use language. It is that language that makes us think you don't like us for real. It makes us think that you only see us as pussies and mouths. I really want y'all to think about it. I'm just trying to put something on your mind. I ain't trying to change nobody's, whatever. If you want to change, change. If you don't, that's up to you. But it is wildly offensive being a human with actual emotions, living a life every day just like you. Because I don't see y'all like that. I don't see your marketplace value. I don't place value on your life as a man. I see you as a man. I see you as a person. I see you as someone who has feelings, who has ambitions, who lives a life, who can be harmed by things, who can be pleased by things, not someone who has a value based on what you do, how much money you got, how tall you are. I don't see y'all like that. And a lot of men and a lot of women do not. A lot of women do, but there are women who do not. And we do not prefer to be referred to as products ready to be bought. It's disgusting and dehumanizing.
So, Bo, we're talking about in the dating marketplace. So, to your analogy, you said that in slaves, that was a marketplace in which they would go to buy slaves. That was the marketplace. In the dating marketplace, women who are dating are in a marketplace where men are the pickers because you guys are dating for marriage. That's what, give them that credit. That's why you have a value, because your value is not just placed on things that can be purchased. For example, the fact that you're feminine is valuable, is of value. The fact that a woman has a fat ass is of value. A fact that a woman is nurturing is of value. So when we're talking about, there's nobody out here purchasing women in that sentiment. The only thing that we are doing as men is we're in the marketplace as single men, and those men are picking the women that they want to commit to and then marry. So no one has attached a monetary value to what you are, which would be what should be offensive, because there are actual markets where people go and purchase people still. There are markets where they say, okay, well, for example, in Paris, which is a very large human trafficking hub, you would be safe because you're older and you're black. However, a younger woman who is lighter skinned, we'll say Jay, like if Jay was in her 20s, she'd be a prime target, not because of anything other than the fact that, not because she's attractive, it's because they can work her longer. So there are actual marketplaces where you should be offended, but this isn't one of those, because we're talking about your value in the dating market, not your value as a human. And we should never conflate those two things.
There's a thing. There's something. I think everybody has to get to the understanding that every single relationship is transactional, whether we would like to agree to it or not. It absolutely is, and it's impossible for it not to be. If you're looking at it at a macro level, then you could say that. So you can throw that type of fluff on because you say people are humans, but inherently as humans, we are all transactional, because if you expect reciprocity, that is literally transactional. If people don't do what it is that you expect them to do, you're going to quit the relationship. It's transactional. There's nothing that, once you have terms and expectations, it becomes transactional. Relationships are transactional no matter how you spin it. It doesn't, you can shake your head, but when you break it down to the core of it, it still doesn't change the fact that it's transactional. Because if people don't meet your needs, then you stop outputting. That's period.
Otherwise,
you're going to be considering yourself being abused.
I was gonna say Trev saying it's transactional. I don't think that I agree with that. I don't think that means that it's not other things. Like it's not obviously like for love. That word transaction. I think people just have an issue with because it sounds like almost like it's only business and that's it.
Yeah, I understand what Trevor's saying, but that's just like a portion of it. Like that's a portion of relationships and dating. And I understand what Bo was saying. It's like once we get into these online spaces, I don't know when it started. I think it started before Kevin Samuels, but like we start looking at dating from this fucking nerdy way of like, oh, we just calculate this and this, that, and the third, and we just add this together. And it's like, and we start looking at fucking data and statistics about fucking dating. Like, that's fucking weird. I mean, I get it. That's where we at this point in time. But like, like niggas like adding up shit to see their percentage of how they going to like, what we going to end up with a woman and shit. Like, I think it's weird. I do. It might just be the online stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, but you know what, Mont? What happens, Mont, is that when you do that, you are working against the grain, right? You actually fucking the game up right now because for real, you were giving credence to people with unrealistic, stupid ass expectations. The reason why people bring up these statistics is because people need to understand what is actually happening in reality. Right? And people are saying that, no, it's really not like that. So you bring the data to refute the nonsense. There's noise. There's a whole lot of noise and no fucking signal coming in. And you are perpetuating that bullshit right now.
No, I'm just saying, like niggas, like we have fucking calculators. We tell women to put their weight in and the age of the guy. We're like, well, she has a 0.00007% chance of getting a man. Like she's supposed to walk around.
A lot of it is necessary only because it's so easy for people to deny and feel like this is how I feel. I'm gonna go by my feelings. I don't really think so. The only way to refute the nonsense is to come with statistical facts, data to show that these are the actual outcomes. This is what really happens in real life. And if you don't present it in such a way that's irrefutable, then they're going to keep saying unrealistic, goofy shit. That's all we're trying to do is bring it down to earth so people can understand. We're trying to come to a language that people do understand. All of us know about data. All of us go by statistics for other things. We're just bringing it there so they can realize it and stop just saying bullshit or this doesn't happen. Because people keep saying that, no, it's not really like that. No, it doesn't happen. So when you bring the data, people just get mad like, okay, what can you say to that? How can you refute the data?
I did want to just make a point of what Miss Pearl was saying. I just wanted to agree with her because, it's so many like pointing the fingers and I see it's like man versus woman and this and that. And it's like people are searching for something. They're searching for validity. They're searching to be loved, whether it's their absent parent involved, not involved, whether it's they didn't get the nurturing love that they wanted at some point, but they're searching for these things, whether it's dad issues or whatever the case is. And instead of actually doing the work, that all of this could be alleviated. All these issues is people would do the work internally, and then not like somebody's going to fall on your lap. However, someone is going to attract that. Your energy is going to bring that towards you.
And I think the problem is that everything is facts and stats when it's against a woman. But in reality, the facts and stats is saying that regular average men are finding average women. It's not this idea of what these men are keep saying that you got to be a certain weight, you got to be a certain height, you can't have 2.2 children, you better not have a dog, and you better not, like, that's all BS. And we just got to be honest with what is happening in the real world. Those facts that we keep trying to make women realize that they're going to have to just go ahead and grab any under average man is just not true. When she get older in age and she ain't gonna be able to find somebody in her age group, it's just not true. This whole idea that if a man finds a woman at 40, he's looking at her that she doesn't have any value is ridiculous when we put it in the real world. It only goes with these talking points. And this is why we got to change the mentality. We got to change the culture, how we communicate. If men on this panel are the good men, and they are the ones that are the married men that have been in a relationship for a long time, we cannot be saying the same thing that the remedial rhetoric men are saying. if we are having an issue with the good women are standing too close to the hoes, then the bro's gonna have to do the same thing. We cannot be too close to the degenerate men. We cannot say the same thing as degenerate men. And we are the men that's moving with high communicational skills. We cannot be saying the same exact thing as somebody that's going to use those talking points to sleep around on that woman and say, oh, I got options. No, you got a discipline issue. You need to grow up. We cannot now say that this man that want to date only younger women, that he's not immature for his age. It's ridiculous. And I don't understand why we cannot just get men to understand we got to have a cultural shift and we want to actually move the community in a different direction.
But everybody has preferences, though. I'm sorry.
I was going to have Boda to expand on the point that she was making. Go ahead, Bo.
The thing that I hear y'all say all the time is men don't think like women. Men don't act like women. Cool. But when a woman is telling you that how you communicate things sounds and feels very dehumanizing, what you do is explain it away instead of saying, oh, I get it. Like, I understand. I already understood the reason y'all did that. Like, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, if you are to effectively communicate with the opposite sex, you're going to need to understand how we receive things. And if you fight against how we receive things and you just want to do what you want to do, what that means to me as a woman is that what men think is the only thing that matters. How men want to communicate is the only thing that matters. When you talking to your nigga friends, say what you want to say. When you're talking to women about women, you communicate in the way that they receive it. And if I'm telling you how we receive things, and you just tell me, well, this is what we mean, I don't give a fuck what you mean. It's how it makes me feel. And if that don't matter, just say that. Just say it. Just say what men think is the only thing that matters. What men understand is the only thing that matters. You as a woman need to understand what I am saying and how I feel. And you need to learn how to communicate with us. You take what we give you because that's what y'all just did. After I said what I said, that's what y'all did. You explained it away instead of being like, okay, I understand that. I can communicate that differently. No, y'all gonna still say what you want to say. That's why I was like, I mean, if you want to do that, do it. That's cool. I didn't need the explanation, if I'm being honest, if you were just going to do the things that you're going to do. But as a woman, I thought that it was fair that I communicate, hey, we see that as dehumanizing. We feel like someone that you can just pay money for when you say stuff like that. And then I just heard excuses and I didn't hear nothing. You know what? You right. No. So that does communicate to me that the only thing that matters is that women are here to learn what men want. Men are here to learn what men want. What women want doesn't fucking matter. Learn to be a wife. Learn to be a feminine woman. Learn to do what we want you to do. And as for us, shut your ass up. Go be feminine. That's what I hear. And it's disheartening. It's discouraging. It's why I took a break. Because y'all really don't give a fuck about what we say. But that's all. That's it.
All right. Can I really quickly? Super chats right quick. Just for my sins, $5, 1 million educated Black women laid off and have chronic unemployment. Should the $100K per year plumber now look down on their character? What's this again? $2. Jesus didn't have money, needed character work. 4 cents again, $2. Obama didn't have money, broke community organizing. Post this again, $2. Trump must have a great character. Right, Sharon? Post this again, $2. Y'all should know Sharon's response by now. Laughing emojis. 4 cents, $2. 40-year-old equals hot flashes, cold sweats, and mood swings. 4 cents, $2. My black wife been through it. Love her to death. Laughing emojis. Want to thank everybody that contributed. Let's go ahead and play this clip. I think you was on here later, but you didn't make this clip. You was on this show. Look familiar? All right.
Yeah, I was on there before. Let me see what episode it was.
All right, here we go.
I want to talk about. So I see this narrative being pushed on social media often, and it pisses me off. But maybe you women could give me some knowledge on this. Do you feel that a majority of black men are gay?
A lot of them.
Did you really just say that, Terry? Did you? All jokes aside, did you really just say?
A lot
Terry?
of them. It's a whole lot of them, and what kind of words can I say on here?
I'm gonna slow you down because I'm trying to save you real quick. Give me a percentage, because when you say a lot, give me a percentage.
I would say, they're about 70%.
How many?
About 70. I say
Have you
80.
lost your fucking mind?
I say 80.
I'm gonna let you go first, Truth.
So let me get this right before we get into this. These are two beautiful black women, right? Hold on, because we're gonna get into this. There are two beautiful black women in front of me that literally just said that 80% of black men are gay.
I'm not even saying all black. It's 80% of black.
Hold on. Y'all, hold on. Stop. Let's be crystal clear. I said black men. Okay. She said 70. She said 70%. You said 80%. Is that your final answer?
85.
Wow, 85%. Cool. Bitch.
I'm changing mine because now I'm narrowing it to black men. I'm going to say 6.
You can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. She can't. You cannot. She cannot. No, we're not changing anything. She heard me just like you heard me. So anyway, let's get back to this. Y'all are sitting in front of me saying that there are more gay black men than straight black men. Is this what two black women are sitting on here saying tonight?
Yes. It's so sad.
One at a time. I'm going to start with Terry first because she was the first one to answer. Could you please tell me what supports your 75% of black men being gay of DCs, please?
I believe that at least 50% of them are outward. They out. So we can just look around. In most of the urban populated areas, we can just look around. Most of them don't hide it. They're out. The other 10 to 30%, what did I say, 70? So I'm like 50% are out and it's clear. The other 20% are the ones that us women have to really side eye, because a lot of these niggas is gay and they don't admit to being gay because they do gay acts and they say that's not gay. They say, oh, I was drunk and I just let him suck it. That's
I've never in my 40 odd years on earth have ever heard a man say I was drunk and let a man suck my penis. But wow. So this is crazy. Okay, Kimberly, your turn. Can you tell me why you believe that 80% of black men are gay?
I believe that 80% of black men are gay because, again, where I am, I see it a lot. And I see that 80% in Chicago. I see it in Atlanta. I see it in places that I travel to often. And again, just like Terry said that more than half is open. But with us that I see, more than half is on the DL. But again, they live in a life with a wife, with kids, but they got their side man. They got their side nigga
on the side. And a lot of that going on. That they have a wife or they have a main girlfriend, but they still got that side guy on the side. And that's what they're doing. And I'm going to say 80% are gay or they being touched on by a man.
You know what? Yeah. All right. So there's a problem with that. I think we should all first know where this nonsense really originated or really gained a lot of traction. There was a bum in 2004 by the name of J.L. King, who wrote the book on the download because he got caught by his wife with his legs in the air getting popped out by another man. Right? He wrote a book on it. She decided she was going to write a book to show you all the signs later on called On the Up and Up. And it instilled fear into Black women. It became viral even before we had the social media situation. So if you went on like Oprah and then you have a New York Times bestseller, that was the version of going viral. And what it did was it told people that Black men were on a download because the dude got caught and he didn't want to necessarily seem embarrassed. He decided that he was going to normalize it and tell people what normal behaviors that normal men who were straight, how they behave, to try to connect it, to put doubt in all men, to popularize it so he wouldn't be the dude out here looking crazy because he was supposed to be a prominent figure in the community. And that's his problem. So now, ever since then, people have ran with it. Even if you project numbers, right, it's really like 3 to 5% that may be gay, right? If you try to go hard and you try to say that, oh, where there's a whole bunch of people in download, it only gets up to close to 7%. There's no evidence whatsoever to substantiate that there are 70%, 80%. These numbers are radical. There's no evidence to support that. It's stupid to even believe that. If you believe that, I think you're stupid as hell. And you should probably read more. You probably should go outside. I don't even care if you live in San Francisco, Atlanta, or Collingswood if you're from Jersey. Even if you live in one of those cities and you think that it's 70 to 80%, you're stupid. Because that is far from the truth. Far from the truth. And you shouldn't be disrespecting us like that because it's not going down like that. I'll end it there for now.
Go ahead, Pearl.
That video was disappointing. I don't even know why. Damn, my bad. I don't know why he entertained them after they gave those percentages. That was ridiculous. I just would have cut it off right then and there because y'all playing in your ass. And then she sat up there and said 50% are out and like the side end. So I did read the book that you're talking about, Trev. Like it was maybe like 2008 or 9 or something like that. But he did. It didn't necessarily scare me. Because y'all know if you know, you know.
Well, you smarter than that, Pearl.
Yeah, if you know, you know. But he did highlight some behaviors. And he gave some situations in there for people to pay attention to. But I don't think we just supposed to grab them and be like, ooh, every time one of my boyfriends is on the phone with one of his guys and they on there a little too long, they're gay. It's like, what? He was doing a little too much. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, he was over pathologizing, like what Trev was saying, like normalized behaviors. That's why you had to like read the book to read the book. Yeah, that I'm kind of dead on that video. Like I said, that was nonsensical. I wouldn't entertain that. I'm gonna pass that. I land. I don't have nothing else to say about that.
So let me get this right. Let me get this right. Because you're not a gay man, correct? Correct?
Who?
You're not
You
a
said me?
man nor a gay man, correct? Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm a gay woman.
Right. So but you're not a gay man. You're not a gay man. And so for you to make that statement, right? For you to make that statement that a majority or a large number of these men are DL gay men, how would you even know if, because they're not hitting on you by any structure, they're not hitting on you because they like ass, correct? So so when we say numbers,
how would I know?
yes.
How would I know? Because we're out here. We see it. We can see how they're living. We can see that. We know the guys are.
Sweetheart, hold on one second, because we gotta land a plane for a second, and I'll bring her back. A DL man is a man that hides the fact, right, that he likes ass. That's what a down low man is. This is a man that is extremely good at playing straight. Like she said, this is probably a man that's married. This is probably a man with children. He probably has a macho job like a fireman. Like, this man has spent his whole life trying to convince the world that he is not into ass. So you can't even spot a DL man, because this is going to be a man that goes out of his way to be extremely straight. Like the DL man tricks you because you like, ain't no way, big ass Brian from up the block. Ain't no way. He got a wife, he got kids, he can fight, he kill. Brian's no way he's gay, right? But now we got to get
some wives are accepting it, knowing that they're.
Listen, hold on, sweetheart, so hold up, but 1 second. This is my show. We can sing together. We can't talk together. 1 second. There are 48. Hold on 1 second. Hold up. There are 48 million African American men in the United States of America. Let me give you this number one more time, y'all. There are 48 million African American men in the United States of America. And you two black, beautiful women are going to sit in front of a black man and say that 80%?
70.
Yes? 70. All right, you know what? I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go, because you know what? Maybe y'all have the Gator. I don't have it. Maybe y'all know more than what I know. 80 is a very, very, very large number. And I think that narrative being pushed by black women is very disheartening. And I think that it grinds my gears that our women of color, that deal with straight men, right? I feel like women go out of their way to make everything that a black man does that they don't agree with to be some form of homosexuality. And I think that we are really doing black men a major disservice. And not you ladies, but it's starting to seem as if black women hate black men. How do y'all feel about that?
No, I don't think that black women hate black men. I think a lot of black women hate themselves because black men are the ones that take care of themselves way better than a black woman. Black women, they do have to step their game up because it seems as though men are the ones that look good, they're groomed, they're dressed. Women, they get comfortable and they don't care. So again, I don't think that black women hate black men. I think it's just the way that they get called to the round table by black men, because black men are the ones that when they come out, they're looking good, and black women have slacked up on how they even carry themselves. So they really don't like themselves much if they let a black man outdo them in everything.
Is it my
Go
turn?
ahead. Yes, please, go ahead.
Respectfully, I disagree with you, and I'm old and I can't see because I can't see your name. But I don't know in what town have I ever seen black men showing up better than the black women. So I don't agree with that. I love me some black men. Have never crossed the line. Love black men. I think that a lot of black women are sick of these niggas. I think that they're sick of building a man. I think they're sick of a lot of things that black men have put them through. I don't want black women to give up on our black men, though. I really don't, because there's so many amazing black men. And the 30% that are still straight, they are so amazing.
Yeah.
And I love Black men, and I'm cheering for Black men to like make a comeback with these ladies, and let's have a happy medium and call a truce, because a lot of these women are just angry from being mistreated by Black men.
I think it's an intelligence issue. Like those two women just aren't very intelligent. To even say that 80% of Black men are gay is crazy. Now, I think that is much more than we think, who are on a DL. I think it's definitely more than we think. 80% is like mind-boggling that they would even say that at their age. Some people just not good with numbers, like to that degree.
So I want to say something extremely emotional, and then I'll say something logical. That was the stupidest shit I have ever heard of. Y'all know I do not play that calling Black men sassy or gay. I don't do that. Like, I don't agree with it. It is disgusting. It's like Mont said, it's low intelligence. Those Black men that you think are gay for not liking you, that is a you thing. That is not a them thing. They don't like your ass. Doesn't mean that they don't like all women. Just like the losers in the comments. I don't think that they're gay. I just think that maybe I'm too smart for them. Maybe I'm just not their type of woman. I don't know which one it is, but it's one or the other. But I wouldn't go as far as to call them gay just because they're speaking down on women. That says more about them than it does about me. So I don't have to insult them in that way. That is low intelligence. You have no more words than that. And y'all know I called that shit out a couple of shows ago. Cause baby, let me tell y'all something. Call True gay again. Do it again. Here. Call Willie gay again. Cause y'all like saying that about them because y'all don't agree with them.
But I been saying that shit all night. And it's crazy.
I saw it. Big Boss Benita. Let me tell you something.
That Big Back Benita can call everybody gay because they don't want to fuck with a big ass. Ain't nobody worried about that dumbass girl. Like, I don't even know why you acknowledge that bitch. She won't even put a super chat in. Stop responding to free shit.
Yeah, it's just not good. Now, let me say this. Let me get back to the actual like conversation. Saying 80% of Black men are DL is crazy. There is a single-digit percentage of men who are LGBTQ. Single-digit percentage. There's a very small double-digit percentage of people in general that are a part of that community. But men specifically, there are not that many of them. And that includes DL people. If you knew they were DL, they wouldn't be DL. They would just be bisexual or gay. It's stupid to say that 80% of men like to be touched by other men. No, they just don't like you. They're traumatized. They have arrested development. They're immature. There are a lot of things. They just don't like your ass. They are a lot of things, but 80% of men being DL is illogical. It's improbable. It just doesn't happen. And from a woman who is a lesbian saying that, you're a part of that community. You can literally go to the clubs around the country, and there are just not that, like, there is like a couple of gay clubs in a city to like a plethora of straight ones. That is the percentage. It is not 80%. And you see very few married men there. I've seen some. I've seen a couple of them got wives and girlfriends. However, it's not that many of them. And most of them are out and proud. It's just, I don't like when women do that. Don't do that to men because you don't like when they do that to your ass. They call you hyenas. They call you fat. They call you all of these things. that you may or may not be, but you don't like it. So why would you do that to them?
They only do it because this is the only place where they can speak to us. In real life, they couldn't reach us. If they saw us in person, we wouldn't acknowledge them. And them hoes only are able to articulate themselves with their fat ass thumbs. Like, it's crazy because this is the only time I know that big bitch not to be eaten when she's typing in the comments.
Yeah. Let's see if they say anything else on this back end.
Wow. Okay. Hey, Truth. Let me tap in real quick. Truth.
Go ahead, brother. Do your thing.
Real quick, man. Yeah, y'all ladies, y'all know y'all on some bullshit, right? Yeah, y'all really on some bullshit.
What?
In all honesty, I mean, respect what you're saying, but y'all playing around. The fact that 70-80%, nah, man, really. But at the same token, in the way I understand why y'all said that, y'all really only saying that because these are also y'all the type of women that the moment y'all can't get y'all way or get what y'all want, y'all instantly label them as gay. So let's be honest here. Because every single time y'all can't get what y'all want, the very first thing y'all say is something is wrong with that man, and y'all always lead to the gay thing. So I can somewhat see where that number is coming from. Let's get that out of the way. But also 70 to 80%. So we talking about what? Damn near 1 out of every 2 men that go past you see them as gay? No, that mean y'all son, some of y'all sons, your brothers, and all of them. So one out of them is gay too, huh? Oh, don't get quiet when the facts get thrown around.
No, okay. I don't disagree with what you just said.
So, hey, Mel, I don't even want to. So, and no disrespect. What we heard was like a level of delusion. There is no way that 70% of Black men in America are gay, right? But if that's how you ladies feel, I gotta let y'all believe what your belief is. I'm sorry that y'all feel that way. That 80% or 70% of Black men in America is gay. I don't know if y'all are on social media too much. I don't know if you live like in a gay environment or neighborhood, and so maybe that's what's like close and and let me say this, right? There's nothing wrong with being gay. Like if you're gay, be gay. Like do your thing. I have no issues with that, right? But to say that high number when there are so many, and then this is okay, I got a better question, right? We can shift gear. Who's the blame, right? Because I won't even say gay. Because I think in order for you to be gay, you have to actually suck a penis, put a penis in your backside, or be aroused with penis, right?
Correct.
Who's the blame for this batch of feminine men, not gay? Who's the blame for this batch of feminine men? Who would be the blame for that?
I'm going to say thank you for clarifying what you just said, Truth, because that matters. When I say 70%, I don't mean 70% of men have had penis and you know what I mean? But I believe that 70% of men have homosexual tendencies and wish they could be. So that's what I mean. That makes up that 70%. And
okay, so we would have to stop you, right? Because that's a dope point. So when I said gay, that would only mean to have intercourse or sexual actions with a man. Now you're saying that it's not 70% because you didn't necessarily mean that they took pipe in their rear end.
Correct.
You're saying that these men may have homosexual tendencies. So could you please give me, right, some characteristics of what homosexual tendencies are?
Or just like you said, feminine. There are a lot of feminine men.
But tell me,
homosexual tendencies. A man.
I'm writing them down.
I feel like a man who has a lot of outwardly gay friends. I believe that he is one of the men that I'm talking about. Right? I don't believe that no 100% straight man is going to vacation with gay men and go to parties with a gay man. No 100% straight man is going to just continue to hang around a whole bunch of gay men.
Give me some more. Give me some more. That's like give me some more.
Half of one.
Half of one. It is also, in my opinion, men who are very touchy-feely with other men. Like I come from an era where men dap each other up. You might, like give a little church hug like that if you haven't seen somebody in a long time. But these men now, they're taking pictures. They want to hug. It's too much of that. I have an issue. That's homosexual tendencies from where I'm from.
Okay, give me some more, because I feel like you're like so surface level.
I am.
Like, yeah, give me some more. Like, okay, so hugging men or being touchy or affectionate with men is a homosexual tendency.
Being touchy-feely with men.
A straight man taking a trip with all gay men. I've never seen that, but of course we would all assume that would be awkward. But like, give me some more, because you see 70% of this. So it's like you would have to have a gang of because like when I say I think that 80% of women are gay, I can give you 1,000 reasons why I believe that. So when you say or have homosexual or lesbian tendencies, I can give you 1,000 reasons to support that. So you gave me 2 and they were kind of shaky. Could you give me some more homosexual
Maybe
tendencies?
I am shallow, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't give men enough credit for. Maybe I'm seeing something now. Maybe I'm too harsh.
Where are you saying you seeing this at for this number to be so high then? Because if you seeing it at this high number, I mean, it sounds like it's BS. But this is to be fair. Where are you seeing this at for this be such a high number? That means 1 out of every 3. So that means you seeing it a lot. So you got to give something.
Right, I'm seeing it a lot. I'm seeing
Where?
it a lot in large urban areas. Like I live in the Washington D.C. to the Miami area. I travel a lot up north to New York. So I'm just only men anymore. They're carrying purses. They're getting their nails polished. It's just shit that men don't. That from my generation just don't do.
I'm pretty well traveled, right?
Well, she got to change her heart a little bit. Maybe she a little bit too harsh.
She didn't have a change of heart. Somebody just called on her bullshit and made her explain it. All you gotta do is let those type of women talk long enough, and then punch one hole in their logic, and then they'll backtrack faster than Michael Jackson. That's all that happened. She went from all niggas is gay, there's 87% of niggas gay, to now I think that the majority of them got homosexual tendencies. And she didn't want to answer the question about who's raising those men because she would have to say me, her, women like us. But it's, and then too, again, they like to, we gotta stop asking. Bo, plug your ears, because I'm not talking about you when I say this, or anybody Bo adjacent. We gotta stop talking to these old hoes, bro. Like we just gotta stop talking to them about the majority of everything outside of perimenopause and their fucking life experiences. Because when you ask them their opinions on shit, like of course women who were 45, 46 years old by themselves, they're just going to project all the things that they've struggled with in men on all men, and then come on these platforms and say that. So that woman, what we should have been asking is, why are y'all so close to all these gay niggas? Like, what type of men have you been around for this to be your experience? And then more importantly, which one of y'all has been cheated on by a dude with another dude? Because all the shit that you're talking about right now, you know what that tells me? If you keep getting cheated on by men, and the man is cheating on you with another nigga, that means your pussy and you are trash. And that's the conversation they don't want to have.
So, Willie, do you think that is more so a don't talk to the old women versus don't talk to dumb women? Because
okay, yeah, don't talk to the old dumb hoes. There you go.
Because I think that there's some women that age that got their shit together. They sophisticated. They're
married too.
Pleasure to be around. They can exactly.
They're married too,
I think
so
that we probably got to do a better job at sourcing more reasonable women. Because I think that's the major issue that we're running into. Because some of them have some wisdom. You know what I mean? And they'll tell some of the younger joints, hey.
Yeah. You're fair. So I'll take it back. I'll walk it back. So don't talk to the old dumb single hoes. There you go.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Yeah. I think that I think y'all kind of hit all the points on the head. Like there's a certain bitterness that occurs when you can't internally reflect on the reason why you're in the situation. And I think once that happens, you start to externally project onto everyone else the issue that you're experiencing. Like it's like saying that there are no dateable women, there are no dateable men in the world. They're there. They just aren't attracted for whatever reason to you, or you're repelling them, even if they are attracted. And that's a harder lesson to accept and deal with than then to just say, well, they just don't like women because they see me and they haven't come up to me. So obviously they just don't like women because I'm a woman. When you're not using the correct bait, you're not exactly what they're searching for. It doesn't mean they don't want women. They don't want your specific brand of whatever it is that you're selling or putting out there. I think the DL Whisperer, and it's like 2 or 3 other people who like specialize. Well, I believe it's 2 or 3 other people. It might be more, it might be less, who specialize in pulling people out the closet or something like that. And that like rise in that type of content, along with I think it was a 2016 poll or a fake news source that said 80% of black men are gay, and it got debunked multiple times. And they explained where they got that data from, but propaganda works. Once it's out there, and it becomes a something that you got to combat and fight down every single time you hear it. And like they made movies about it, and I saw one of those movies. I forget what it was. I was like, well, this nigga really out here doing this? I got paranoid too. I'm like, man, if a nigga look at me too long, he probably gay. When I saw one of the movies about I forget what the name of that shit was. When dude was like at a restaurant with his wife and the other dude looked at him, he went to the bathroom and then he came in. I'm like, man, hell no, bro. This shit is an epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit. But I've never actually ran into a nigga that's actually DL that I found out about. But I saw that movie and I thought it was an epidemic because the propaganda and shit. Yeah, she exposed something, and I think the more honesty we get out of the data market from people who have ended up in her situation about how they ended up there and how to prevent it, and stop like making it seem like, hey, this is what I chose, this is what I want to be, this is how I want things to turn out, and this is a great life. If we could like get to a point where people could be honest about exactly why they feel they got to that situation and how they could guide the next group of people, that could be extremely helpful. Or it could be problematic if you just say, well, shit, everybody gay, so I don't know what to tell you. Like, that shit is crazy.
I think what's happened is that a lot of people getting confused with men being is a good amount of men that are homosocial versus homosexual, right? So men want to hang around other men and they want to, they think that men are funnier, they think men are more intelligent, and women is for, vagina and that separate thing. But doesn't mean that it was funny, 70% of that is whatever, right? Cool, but it's no way possible that it should be that high of a number. It should have said 20 or 30. Maybe we could have actually entertained the conversation for real, but she put it at a number so ridiculous that, like I didn't look at that nothing more than a joke. Like that cannot be for real, that what she is saying, right? And it is a situation where men are acting as men can't do no wrong. And if she was talking to that situation, then yeah, we can have a real conversation about that. Men being just so strictly male identified. It's kind of like what Bo was saying earlier. A lot of men not paying attention to how they words in conversation are making women feel, right? We need to have that conversation more. Hey, we need to pay attention to what we are doing to the other person with our words. We got to stop acting like words don't matter and words can't hurt another person, and especially if it's hurting the opposite sex, which we are interested in. If we are saying things that is hurting them, maybe we should change our communicational style, talking with and about them.
Hey, did anyone send somebody a link to Sassy Sort of Life in the back? Might know what this is. Oh, Cookie, okay. What's going on, Cookie? I saw you in the chat.
I'm chilling.
All right, what you got to say on this?
I've left for a second. What y'all talking about now?
Well, you were one of the people in the comments that said you stand on 10 toes down about the 70%.
Well, no, 70% online.
Okay, 70% online of men that
Yeah, 100. Yeah, I'm 10 toes down with. I don't think 70% of black men are gay. That's insane. But I do believe that 70% of male bashers, specifically red pill, if that's still a thing, bashers. Honestly, I think men bashers, I think they're just as gay. So that goes to both ways for me. So I feel like anybody bashing the opposite sex to the point where they're yelling and screaming and just gotta prove a point, you just need to live in your truth. And there's nothing wrong with being gay. It's 2026, but just leave us alone, you know?
Cookie, what up? First off, would you would you describe anybody on the panel as red pill or no?
Oh, it's been a while. No, I wouldn't. Not right off the bat. Give me about 20 minutes though.
Okay. We'll come
If I
back.
stay
We'll
that
revisit
long.
that
I
if you're
just have
still
to
up
get on
here.
here because I saw JR sent me an invite. But my birthday tomorrow, so I can't be here too long. I'm going to this fight. So
Salute to my Gemini sisters. Shout out to you, Cookie.
Yeah, happy birthday to you. What are
I
things
mean,
that
are we
make
wrong though? Like, if think about science, it's given like
could you tell
the
us what the
last time
things
men
you
were like bashing women like this, it was like first grade on the playground. It's so childish. So
well, at
for
first
me, when I see that, I'm like, it's childlike for women too. Ooh, boys are nasty. Ooh, girls are nasty. But at this big age, it's kind of like, what do you mean? You know, say what you really mean.
in first
Well,
grade,
if
You
I,
mean you don't like women? Go get your boyfriend, and that's okay. We'll still love you. Some of my best friends are gay. I'll yield.
I would
yeah,
agree if you said men that are bashing women, right? Which is, you didn't describe anybody on the panel as that tonight, so that could actually be a thing. I would just have to see to what degree. I would have to see to
I
what
can't hear
degree
him.
you
Is he
consider.
out talking to me? What I do?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm talking
Yeah,
to you.
sometimes StreamYard messes up like that. So just hit the refresh button and then you should be able to hear him. Can you
Okay.
hear me? Oh, okay. She hear me.
Can you hear me?
No, she can't hear you. So we're gonna wait till she come back so y'all can have that dialogue.
Okay.
And while you have something to say, did you want to speak to Cookie or just in general?
yeah, I was gonna ask her, can she kind of detail more outside of just them saying like she feel like the bashing is what make you gay? Because just being angry at somebody, I don't think that can change your sexuality. So maybe she got some other things she basing it on.
That's what I was trying to get to. What's the baseline, right? I was trying to get to that because I could agree to an extent. If you're saying bashing, like you just really don't like women, then okay, the probability gets pretty high if you don't like women, right? So that's the thing. But I just wanted to see to what extent. Who does she? Can you hear me now, Cookie, or no?
Yeah,
I
and
bet.
Trev, I don't
Yeah,
even.
so I could. All right, go ahead, Mark.
No, I was gonna say I don't even, because a lot of times anger and frustration, it could be masked desire in the opposite way. Like, well, that's what old girl was expressing when she was saying 80% of men are she, but that was anger and frustration. It wasn't necessarily she really felt that. So you could mask those emotions for not having a way to project that the right way or to deal with that internalized feeling of what's going on. And the men who could be doing that also could have that going on where they love women, they're just upset with how things are going. So it's a projection of that anger coming out. Because
She made that hateful comment, right? And then it turns out she was what?
Yeah, she was gay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I could agree if you're saying bashing, right? I just wanted to get like a baseline of where that stands for you. Like, what was an example of somebody who may or may not, or you could even drop a name. I don't care. But who do you think that you would
That
say
dude that
is
got in trouble
likely gay?
for
Chud the Builder.
trafficking.
Oh,
trafficking. Ooh, damn. Who was doing that?
Who was that guy? His brother's a fighter.
Andrew Tate.
Yes.
Oh, you think he might be?
Oh, absolutely. 100%. not living his truth.
Okay, I can agree with that. I don't think that he's necessarily DL, but I think that
No, I think
men
it's
like that who have no. What I'm saying is, I think that men like that who have all of the access, a lot of power, they crave power, and so there is a shift that happens where they have conquered women. They can overpower women, and then they switch to men because that's a greater power to some of them. To men with a certain social status, to men with a certain amount of power in the world, absolutely. I think that yes, men with in a certain tax bracket sometimes do that. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying this does happen. I was watching a documentary at work today about this man who is the son of the man that started Liberty University. And so he didn't partake in men, but he did partake in men overpowering his wife. Like certain things sexually happens, like they level up at some point in time, given the level of power and influence that they have. Absolutely. Yep, they do.
So Bo, you saying that any man that engaged in a threesome with another man, even if he didn't touch him, that is a gay situation?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying this is
It's
they
suspicious
partake
for sure, though, right?
They partake in alternative lifestyles is all I'm saying. Like no matter what that looks like, because those types of things are not black and white. This is a rainbow of situations. Like literally, it's a spectrum. That type of those type of alternative lifestyles, they're a rainbow, so they can look like anything. All I'm saying is their need for power transforms, it evolves in different ways. So I can agree that some men with a certain level of power and influence, yeah, they absolutely do. I know plenty of men who
So wait a
have.
minute. So do
Well,
you
I don't know them, but I know
peep
of
this? So there's a lot of men out there that there's so much talking going on. There's a lot of men out there that think they're in that position in their life. That's what's scary to me. Like they might not be the Andrew Tates, but they've convinced themselves, and now they out here doing sneaky links.
Yo, the fact that Bo said, "Hey, listen, if you a cuck, it's a possibility you are you gay," and Cookie said, "Like, hey, listen,
I believe
you might
that.
think
I believe that. I believe that. If you a cuckster, then yeah, I think that you got some shit with you. Real talk. Because when you're thinking about the action of you, I don't know if you know what all goes into it, right? I'm pretty familiar with the underworld and all that goofy shit. There's a lot that goes into it. A lot of Diddy stuff. That cuck situation is wild because the extent that they go to is just not a good look, right? No, there's a good possibility that there's something wrong with you for you to want to watch another man dominate your woman, and it's not a good look.
something else going on."
Yeah, you're admiring the man at that point, or you wouldn't need him. What's the interest? You know what I'm saying? What's the interest? What's the interest? Why do you think another link is gonna make the situation better? It's not gonna add to the situation. The more
And that
links you
goes
add,
both
the worse
ways.
you at.
Hey, look, Trev. All I'm saying, we start adding those things in, it might start getting really close to that. It's the percentage is going to go up tremendously. Now, all I'm saying, like at first we were saying that like maybe 20 to 30 is really high in our opinion, but we start adding that into it, and we start adding other things that it's going to start creeping up to that high percentage that the ladies are talking about.
I honestly don't think it surpasses 10%, even when you add all the people who were cucks and all of that type stuff. Either I don't think so. If you want to just talk about a sexual deviant period, then you know that's different. We're all degenerates, damn near, really. But when you're talking about men Well, I said damn near. You would be considered the exception. Some of y'all guys is vanilla. Some of y'all guys is vanilla. I know shit.
Marcus, I'm telling you, bro.
You made it.
I'm not going, bro.
I believe you. Some like vanilla. I get it, but it is what it is, right? But what I'm saying is that once you start,
hey, look, Trev, I love these conversations because every time people try to act like I'm fair, y'all be proving a point that I'm probably the most masculine man y'all spoke to in a long time, goddamn. Because
what you mean?
I didn't know what y'all were talking about when y'all used that word. I'm not gonna lie.
What word?
I don't know how to say it. What did you
What?
say,
Spell
Trev?
it.
A cucks?
Oh yeah, cuck.
I don't know what you said.
Cuck.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard that
That's
term.
a dude who enjoys. That's a man who
Cuckold.
enjoys another. Cuckold, but cuck for short. But that's a man
cuck
who
for short.
enjoys another man dominating his woman, usually in front of him, sometimes in very close proximity, sometimes where there's contact.
It's almost always in
But
front
I heard some the other
make
day
it
because they go both
further
ways.
from
K
it.
Michelle was like, "I want my man can do," but I guess I don't know. She like watching her man and other women, so I'm just kind of like. But I guess it's a patriarchy, so men draw that rule, whether that's like lesbianism or not. But to me, it's given like, girl, what? You know what I mean?
Hey, go ahead, boy. What were you
I
saying?
think it's way more common for women doing that, honestly. And men are more accepting of it. If a girl says she about to bring another girl to the bedroom, then dudes is usually not pissed off about that. I wouldn't be.
Sure.
Yeah.
This nigga in the chat
Of
keeps
course
saying this
not.
shit, so he not gonna stop until we ask you the question. Did you say it's okay for a woman to peg a man?
and that's what
what?
and that's what that man wants. Hey, that's up to him.
He asked me
Yeah, but that's wait. Who said that?
I don't give a damn what nobody else do. Look, I like Trev said, I'm vanilla as hell. Like all that extra shit that y'all be talking about, I don't participate in it. I don't do the corn stuff. I don't watch those XXX videos. I keep my head above water, you know.
Hey, yo,
But if you choose to do so, look, you got my blessings, my brothers. Don't let nobody tell you to not be great. Go ahead and be great with with whoever is that want to go do that. Go be great. I ain't stopping nobody from it. Go ahead.
Would you say that a man is probably on the other side if he allows his woman to dominate him in that way? Or no? You don't think so?
If I go technical,
I know, Bo. I know.
If I go technical, I can't say that because hey, you gotta be doing something with a man. Is that's the technical. However, it gotta be what Bo is saying. It has to be on that spectrum that she's talking about. So you are leaning towards a spectrum of a hurt wrist, just to try to be.
That's a gateway activity.
Sharon, wait a minute. So why are you playing, Sharon? So it's only a little sugar in the tank, like.
Who?
I'm not asking you. I'm not. The way you just phrased it, like, well, if a woman is pegging a man, that's not homosexual because he actually has to be with a man. But the act of him engaging with a man is he's being
so technically, I look at the word very technically. Yeah, I look at the word very technical.
Right.
However, technically, I think you have to be aroused. Yeah, you got to be aroused by a man, and you got to be doing things with a man for you to actually be that, in my opinion. I just very technical with the word by the definition. Whatever you do with your girl, if she want to do that, she put a thumb, you like that stuff, hey, that is your business. I don't care. Do you?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna say that's gay.
Can we agree that that's a gateway activity?
No, we cannot agree that it is gay. Gay is a man is sexually attracted to another man. If a man is turned on by a woman, no matter what that woman does to that man is still straight. You all just do not agree with the act that is happening, but that man is not sexually attracted nor sexually aroused by a man. A man has an arousal point. What is it? What is it called? My menopause brain getting to me. What
You
is
talking
it?
about the A
You're talking
spot?
about the
The
G
G
spot.
spot. The man's G spot is in his ass. Men who figure that out and who want that spot touched and get their woman to touch that spot,
They're
they're
gay.
still
Oh
not
They're
gay.
gay.
You don't have
They're
to.
gay, Bo.
You don't have to.
By
You don't have to do. You
definition,
don't
they
have
are
to be
not gay.
violated.
We have to go off of what words mean. That man is not sexually aroused by a woman because that same man would not want to be touched by a man. He would only want to be touched by a woman, no matter what that means. So by
Bo.
definition,
Can I tell you where the confusion?
Hold on. Wait.
Hold on, y'all. Let her finish.
I'm listening.
Let her finish.
You can think that it is inappropriate. You can think that that is not supposed to happen, but that's those people's lifestyles, and he's not with a man, which means he's not gay. Like, Jesus
Bo,
Christ, y'all
man,
and y'all feelings in these words are y'all be blowing me sometimes.
If a man takes his girlfriend's dildo that she's going to peg him with and shoves it down his throat and then gives it to her to put in his ass, are we finna sit here and say that nigga's not gay? Because to your logic would be like, your logic would be literally saying a man saying, well, it's like if someone told a dude, how do you know you don't like sucking dick if you never sucked one before? Like, that shit is gay. That's how we know we don't want, because that's gay. A woman fucking a man in the ass with a phallic shaped object is gay. And you know what's crazy? Like, what's super crazy is, you know how wild it is to be gay? Women have buttholes too. Like, that's the crazy shit to me. Like, if for you to intentionally choose to be with a man as if a woman doesn't have the exact same hole and then some. Like, the idea that a man getting pegged is not gay is something that you will never get the masses to accept. And unfortunately, in our society, the masses dictate what a word means and what something is. And we have unilaterally, damn near, except for the sissies and the sissy adjacent people, have decided that a man being fucked in the ass by man, woman, toy, whatever is gay.
Yo, I think it's crazy that you went to sucking on the peen where Bo literally made it very specific to a woman going to his G spot, and you put sucking and all that.
I used the
That
exact
is
same
wild
logic to
to
her.
me.
I said it was her dildo.
Well, we were talking about peg. When you talk about pegging, that's an inanimate object, right? It's involving something that's shaped like the male anatomy. When you use the word pegging, so that's literally what that is. You can't really clean that up. You can't walk it back. That's what we're talking about. Unfortunately, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I wish a nigga would be like, bro, you think it's gay if I let my girl peg me? Yes, nigga. Now get the fuck away from me. Like, I can't be seen with you now. Like, what?
My reasoning behind it is, okay, so in college I went to a party that they ended up having, like they was selling toys, right? And they had all kinds. And there I didn't want the toy. You want eventually the pulse and the flesh and the sweat. You know what I mean? So I feel like eventually the plastic peg ain't gonna be good enough for him. And I think that's why I call it a gateway activity. That's just
So if you're a Cookie, I see where you're going. But Bo, let me ask you this: if you found out that you was with your boyfriend and his ex popped up and now they arguing and she was like, "What you saying when I fucked you in your ass?" Would you not look at him different?
Ooh.
Yes or no?
I would, because I don't. No, that's me. I don't. But also, he ain't asked me to do none of it. But you,
she was safer. He felt safer with her.
That's fine. Please feel safer with somebody else. But see, that's my preference. That I don't prefer. I'm not going to do that with a man. That's not. I don't prefer to dominate a man. That would change my perception of my man.
Right.
But some women are very dominant like that, and they like dominating their man, and their man likes being dominated. That is the dynamic that they choose to have. But
yeah. It's not. I know a lot of gay dudes who date women. Like, that's cool. Like, you know what I'm saying, in between, you know what I'm saying, being in relationships with niggas. I get that, right? I understand the point. This is the thing though. those niggas are still gay. Like there is no such thing as being bisexual. You just a nigga that also eat coochie every now and then. But once you suck a dick or take one in your ass, you are gay. Like there is no going back from that. You're not bisexual. It's like this. You're a lesbian, you're gay, and that's the fuck it. All the rest of the alphabets and shit is just stuff that y'all made up to placate each other to make some dudes feel better about the fact that you're saying they have a love of dick in their heart they can't pray out.
And that's okay. We need to make sure on the panel we say that is okay. We're not bashing you.
And Willie, and that's the issue that they have because I said the same thing that Cookies. I said, hey, listen, whatever you decide to do, that is your business. That is your private business. I don't care either way.
That's not what I said. You know
what I'm saying? And so Willie, so they took that, and so you saying it's okay? If that's what he chooses to do, that's his business. It don't got nothing to do with me at all.
Well, they should have asked you a different question. They said, does it make him gay if he does it, instead of saying it's okay? Because if it's permissible for him to be gay, of course it would be okay for you. For me, it's permissible to be gay. However, it is not permissible for you to do gay things like have gay sex and then not want to be classified as gay. I'm just saying, I
agree with that 100%.
Like, I don't know one straight nigga that's ever said the premise ever.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take this conversation to the private chat. Let me get to these last super chats. Carl Anderson, 4832, $5. Damn, dysfunction is running rampant across our families and Black institutions. Why do we keep saying just do this when it's really not realistic? Bishop Mama G, for 10 months, says make sure you hit the like button. Yeah, hit the like button on your way out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I want to thank everybody that has came out tonight, the people that was on the panel and has left. Make sure you guys follow and support everybody on the panel. Check out their Instagrams and support them the same way you support us over here. Y'all enjoy y'all weekend and catch us next time. We are out.